If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At Noble RV, camp ready means
the years. Dethroned sinner. Will fight for his 11th Australian Open title.
maintenance plan.
The years.
Roof assessments every year and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the ground, know you're camp ready.
How do I get to be camp ready?
At Noble right now.
And that's desperation.
NobleRV.ca.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
The years. Dethroned sinner. Will fight for his 11th Australian Open title.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Here's McDavid.
Positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a fantastic Friday. Oilers fans, it was a roller coaster of emotion for you last night. We'll get into that. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max, $20 million tonight. You can get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers, finally, 55 games. We don't have to talk about it again. They've won 3 in a row. In dramatic fashion. They were down 3-0. They were down 2-0 very early. 95 seconds into the game. And I'm sure many of you were like, here we go again. And then the third goal, it's unlucky. Ingram makes a save. Rebound comes out, hits Bouchard, ricochets in the net. And honestly, at that point, I'm guessing most Oilers fans thought it was game over. No scoring in the second period. So you go into the third. Trailing 3-0. But last night, 3-goal leads or 2-goal leads in the third period really didn't mean a lot. The Edmonton Oilers were not the only team with a multi-goal third period comeback last night. Carolina, they were down 2 goals in the last 2 minutes and scored 3 goals in the final 2 minutes of the game and win in regulation. That is only the third time that has ever happened in NHL history. And one of those games is like 100 years ago. So that was a game that you just don't see very often. Svechnikov scored with a minute 59 left. Gostisbehere scored with a minute 27 left. And then Jordan Staal scored with 30 seconds left. That is crazy. 3 goals in a minute 29 in the final 2 minutes of the game. Tough loss for Utah. Ouch. Then you had the Vegas Golden Knights. They were trailing 4-1. Basically the same boat as the Oilers going in the third period. But then Riley Smith scored 4:04. Barbashev 13:54. Mitch Marner tied it with 49 seconds left. Only difference is Vegas could not get a goal in overtime, and they got outscored in the shootout. And they have their 14th overtime/shootout loss of the season. The Oilers, Draisaitl, minute 34 in. McDavid, 3 minutes and 5 seconds left. Bouchard, 59 seconds left, tie game. And then Zach Hyman, only a minute 6 into overtime to get the winning goal. So the Oilers scored 3 goals in 4 minutes and 11 seconds to get the victory. Was not their prettiest game. Was not their best game. But at this stage of the season, you'll take wins. The building, the excitement in a late game comeback. It's different. It's almost, for a while there, it feels like a playoff type of atmosphere just because of how loud and excited many fans are, because you go from literally disappointment, frustration. Who are you going to blame? Somebody would have said fire the coach had they lost that game, I'm sure, but they didn't. And they come back and win. And that was, it's a big win. No question about it. It's a big win. It's not always how you start sometimes. It's how you finish, and the Oilers finished very well last night. The other odd part of that game was when Celebrini was going in kind of on that partial breakaway, and Matthias Ekholm comes back. Matthias Ekholm takes a swing at him. And Celebrini does the head go back, but then Celebrini very quickly, as the referee's arm is up, Celebrini's like, "No, he didn't touch me. He didn't touch me," and they still called it a penalty. I'm a little perplexed by that. Like, why, if the opposing player is admitting he wasn't touched, because that's the only reason you're calling a penalty. Why are you calling the penalty then? It didn't matter at the end of the day. But it was kind of interesting to me that is that's happening, and away they go. So last night for the Edmonton Oilers, that was actually their 5th win this season when they trailed after 2 periods to come from behind to win. They did it against the Sharks. They did it against Washington last week. They did it earlier this month against Winnipeg, back in November against Columbus, and in October against Montreal. So not their first come from behind win late in the game, of course. And they get the win. And at this stage of the season, that's all that matters. Vegas is in a little bit of a funk. So you know what? They're down to only 2 games in hand now on the Edmonton Oilers. Vegas has 4 games left before the Olympic break. The Oilers have 3, so Vegas will make up that game in hand. They go back-to-back. They're playing Seattle and Anaheim this weekend. And I think they have it's the Sharks and the Kings back-to-back on Wednesday and Thursday. Meanwhile, the Oilers will play tomorrow against Mini, who they've really struggled against. We're going to talk to Mike Russo about that coming up in about 15 minutes' time. And then the Oilers have the struggling Maple Leafs. Can we just say it is January 30th, the Maple Leafs are out? Okay? They're out. They are not making the playoffs. And this is not I hate Toronto. This is just a reality check. The Maple Leafs currently sit in 15th place in the Eastern Conference. They're 10 points back. 10 points back. You think they're making up 10 points? Look, so just to put it into perspective for you, The Buffalo Sabres on the morning of December 9th, they were back of, they gained from then, and they've gone 20 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie since then. 20 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie since. They had 41 points, best record in the NHL. Do you know how many points in that time they've gained on teams? 7, 6 on Montreal. So these are the teams in Boston. Those are the teams you got to catch. And they went 23-1. You think Toronto is going to gain 10 points in that span? Not happening. Leafs Nation accepted. They're done. They're out. The Rangers are out. I think the Philadelphia Flyers, they're out. The Ottawa Senators, they're 10 points back. Now, they have 2 games in hand. That's their only saving grace. But, the Senators are probably better than the record, to be honest. They didn't get any goaltending for the longest time, but it's probably too little too late for them. Heck, even the defending champion Florida Panthers. Now, they do have 2 games in hand, but they're 8 points back. And now, Brad Marchand left last night's game, didn't return. He's going to be reevaluated today. What does that mean for Florida? What does it mean for Team Canada? Does that potentially open up another slot on Team Canada? Now, this close to, trust me, he's going to do everything in his power. He's going to want to go. No doubt in my mind. But now you got Brad Marchand a little dinged up. We still don't know about Braden Point. There could be 1, maybe 2 guys being announced to Canada's Olympic team. And we'll kind of see how it plays out. But there's a few teams that are out. In the West, we know Vancouver's out. The Flames are out. The Blues and the Jets are 10 points back. Right? The Jets just, they can't get going. So Canada, could you imagine if Canada, they couldn't get, I guess it depends how the end of the season goes, but the Jets, the Flames, the Canucks, and the Maple Leafs, all are teams right now that could have a chance. Vancouver's dead last. Calgary's second last. Winnipeg is tied for 30th. If we want to, I guess, technically 29th. And the Rangers, Maple Leafs, the way the Maple Leafs are going, I could easily see them falling down deeper. And if you're a Leafs fan, that's most likely what you should want. But, and here is the big but if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Ottawa doesn't own their first rounder. No one owns it. They're losing it because of, just ridiculous what happened with Dadonov. But how about the Toronto Maple Leafs? They don't have a first rounder or a second rounder. The Boston Bruins have their first round pick. Could you imagine Toronto finishes as the bottom 5 team and doesn't have their first round pick? Yeah. It could be some ugly times. So that's why, if you're the management team, now you might be able to acquire another first rounder from someone else, but the team you're acquiring it from, Connor Halley, is going to be picking probably in the 20s, maybe the late teens, maybe. That Brandon Carlo trade could go down as one of the worst trades in Toronto Maple Leafs history. Brandon Carlo for Fraser Mitten, who's having a fantastic season this year. And now it is top 5 protected. I should say that. It is top 5 protected. So, right? The top 5 protected slides to 2027. So it's wild. Now, if the pick slide is in the top 10, Toronto can transfer to Boston and then give Philly the unprotected 2028 pick, or transfer to Philly and give Boston the 2028 unprotected first. So, oh my goodness, they could be in trouble here, con man. Big time trouble. It's only top 5 protected. Yikes. So, we'll see here. Not looking good for the Maple Leafs, I'll tell you that.
Crazy how close they were last year in the playoffs too, hey? That chance to go, 3-0 against the Panthers, couldn't do it. Yeah. You could have justified Carlo maybe a little more, hey, we went on a long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so we're funniest situation. They pick 6th this year or 11th.
Oh God. Yeah. So. Yes, that is something to follow because the way they're going. Well, I guess you know what the saving grace for them is. That would be a smart move. Like you're right. You don't want to finish 6th. If you're Toronto, you want to really tank it. You want to ensure now. If you're management, you got to trade off some guys just to give yourself a chance that we got to finish bottom 3 or 4, so we can only move down so many spots and still be in the top 5. Right? That's what their plan has to be. Salvage the pick. Salvage the pick. That's where they're at. No surprise under the captain obvious. We knew this. We've talked about it for a while. I actually wrote it back in October that Trey Ford was going to be released by the Edmonton Elks, and he was officially released today. And I'll be curious. There's lots of teams out there. All you got to do is look at this year's Super Bowl, boys and girls. Everybody always loves writing off players. Trey Ford's he's a pretty good talent. Now I think there's some of it's going to be on him, right? He probably has to, maybe spend a little bit more time in the playbook, all that stuff, sure. But he's a pure athlete. And if I'm Trey Ford, I'm not as interested in going to a team with opportunity right away as I am going to a team that has somebody with a track record of developing quarterbacks. That would be my number one thing to look for if I'm Trey Ford. He's extremely young. Right? Like, look at Anthony Calvillo before he actually got his career going, right? And Anthony Calvillo had 4 years in the league, and he was just like, he was okay. Like, Trey Ford is 27 years of age. He's got a lot of time, right? He doesn't have a lot of wear and tear in his body. Now, he's not as big as Calvillo. He's never a pocket passer, so I don't know if he'll have the longevity or not. But if I'm Trey Ford, con man, that is priority number one. It's not money. It's going to be, where can I go? Somebody who has a track record. I want to interview them. I don't want to talk to the GM. The GM has he has no say in how my development goes. Really, at the end of the day, I want to talk to the guys who I'm going to be working with on a day-to-day basis, helping me understand the nuances of the quarterback position better.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Sam Darnold, like just looking at the Super Bowl. I mean, it took a few years for him, right? He went to the Niners, worked with Shanahan, didn't get much playing time. Obviously, goes to Minnesota with O'Connell, does get playing time opportunity because their first-round pick goes down with injury. But I'm totally with you. I think Trey Ford, maybe a little more playbook time, hopefully get some reps. I mean, that's ultimately how he's going to eventually find his way onto the field. And maybe that's openness in having a role out there during certain situations, certain sets. But I'm intrigued. The name Declan brought up was the Alouettes with Jason Moss. Like a year with Jason Moss, I think that could be fantastic for him.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad plan at all. So something to follow. This just coming down. The Baltimore Ravens have hired Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle. Now, Doyle, you're like, well, how can he go from one OC job to the other? Because in Chicago, he did not have play calling responsibilities. But in Baltimore, he's going to. Jesse Minter, who leaves Connor Halley's Chargers, he's going to run their defense. Now he's got his offensive coordinator in place in Declan Doyle. So interesting that you're an OC on a team, Cons, but you don't have play calling responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why would you? But Ben Johnson, one of the best play callers in the game. So it makes sense, but you're doing the installs. You're making sure guys are, obviously knowing their responsibilities. So a parallel move in title, but obviously getting the chance. And Ben Johnson's coaching tree already, we're starting to see it. I like that hire. I think that's a really good move for the Ravens. For the Ravens. And Jesse Minter is going to handle the defense. So yeah, it'll be a lot on his plate, but good move for him.
833-401-1440. Coming up on the show today, Mike Russo is going to join us right away. Of course, we'll talk a little NHL and the Minnesota Wild as they come down. Quinn Hughes basically plays 28 minutes a night for the Minnesota Wild. It's wild how many, when you compare, everybody talks about, the Oilers play McDavid and them too much. And I know that's a talking point, but we're actually going to get into it during the Olympic break because I've been compiling some numbers that we will talk about after the games are done. You got Minnesota game, then of course we have the Flames and the Maple Leaf games on Tuesday and Wednesday. But then the following week after that, we're going to dive into stuff. So I got a big article coming out on it, compiling it, because I think at times certain things, like anything, somebody says it, then everybody repeats it, And then they believe like, well, yeah, this is 100% ironclad and it's the truth. And I'm like, is it? So we'll look at that. Lorianne Munzer will be by, of course, talking lots of Olympics as we get closer and closer. Lots of athletes already over there. Others will be leaving in the next week to get acclimatized and set to go for the Winter Olympics. Opening ceremonies a week today. Can't wait. LT will be by a little early today at 3:20. We got Livingston, 2-minute warning with Tater, Craig Button, Mark Spector, and guy who's going to be going to his 4th Olympics. He's won gold. He's won bronze. He's had the devastation of finishing 4th. Mark Kennedy will join us at 5:20 to talk about the upcoming Olympics and his chances to, maybe get a 2nd gold. They could, or the possibility to get a gold, silver, and a bronze. He's already got a gold and a bronze. So, hey, it's got a few options there for sure. So we'll get to that. As always, we'll take your text 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Mike Russo joins us next. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The Hockey Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, which showcase style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018, visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Roll Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
The Rock and Roll Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Positive Friday. Welcome to the show. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instance. They got it all. One-stop shop at PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers have another day off today. They will take on the Minnesota Wild tomorrow night. Of course, the Wild, a team that have really dominated the Oilers, winning 13 of their last 17 games. So we'll see if the Oilers can find a way to beat a team that they haven't had much success against recently tomorrow night. The Wild playing very good, of course, sitting in third place in the Central Division, coming off a 4-1 victory last night over the Calgary Flames, and then they'll be flying into Edmonton today as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And remember, if you're in Sherwood Park, or hey, maybe you're Ardrossan, you're around there, you go to eat in Sherwood Park, the McDonald's at 590 Baseline Road, it's closing. So get in there before Monday. And when you go in, you will automatically get a discount card that you can use at the other Sherwood Park locations during renovation. So check it out at the Baseline, 590 Baseline, McDonald's. As we are joined by one of the best beat writers in the National Hockey League, longtime NHL writer, first with the Panthers, now longtime with the Minnesota Wild, writes at The Athletic. Mike Russo joins us. Mike, my man, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jay?
Hey, I'm pretty good. The Wild are a good team, man. I want to get your thoughts. Like Quinn Hughes, I've been following you, and it's like every second game, Quinn Hughes is like doing something that's almost like a franchise record already. Like he's early on there, but his minutes played and points and consecutive assists, it's like they've really never had an offensive defenseman like Quinn Hughes.
No, they haven't. In fact, he's 25 assists now with the Wild. Fastest in NHL history to 25 assists with the franchise, tying Paul Coffey with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah, so there you go. He's been just awesome, and he's completely changed the way that they play offense. Suddenly, they went from 29th in the NHL in defense points to first since he's been here, and it's not just him. Everybody's taken apart and scoring and jumping up in the play, and he just has the ability to play not just 30 minutes a game, but the puck on his stick, constantly putting guys in great positions. He is a human breakout, and it's really changed just the way that they play offense. They haven't been nearly as good defensively. I think part of it is because everybody's trying to go, but they've gotten back to that a little bit lately, trying to take care of their own end. But for the most part, he's been really, really good.
And playing a ton of minutes in Minnesota. Like he's averaging over 28 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, and part of it is when he first got here, they were able to put Brodin and Spurgeon in a real good shutdown role. Well, Brodin's had surgery and is going to miss until after the Olympics. Unfortunately, he's going to miss the Olympics for Sweden. By the way, that's a huge loss as usual. He against the Oilers is usually one of their best players, so that's a big loss tomorrow night for the Wild. But what that's done is it's really loaded up the ice time for him in favor because Spurgeon is playing with Middleton, and I don't think they have a lot of trust at times in their third pair, although Damon Hunt's been really, really good. But at time, with Bogosian out also, it's just put them in a position where they're pretty much playing their third pair less than 10 minutes a night. So they were much better last night, Hunt and Juracek. So we'll see if that starts to even things out, and there's even a chance that Bogosian comes back tomorrow night. But he is just playing a ton of ice time. Faber's playing a ton of ice time. Really what's amazing about the 28 minutes tonight, as you mentioned, is that Quinn doesn't play the PK. So, he's getting all this at 5-on-5 in the power play.
Yeah, it's wild. And he's got 27 points, he's averaging an assist a game, actually just over an assist a game with 25 apples in only 23 games, which is pretty impressive. You mentioned Bogosian's out, but also the one guy who has had a lot of success containing Connor McDavid is Jonas Brodin. He's not going to play. What's Brodin's status? How much is he going to be ready coming out of the Olympic break, or is it longer? Do you know?
I think it's going to be a little longer. It's 6 to 8 weeks from late January, from about last week. He had core muscle surgery, and so they'll be careful with that. My guess is that we'll see him mid to late March. Huge disappointment for him, just because he was going to play in his first Olympics and was so good for Sweden in the Four Nations tournament. And as you mentioned, I mean, he loves the matchup playing against top players, but especially McDavid, and he's the one guy that can skate with Connor, and so it's a huge loss going into that game tomorrow. Spurgeon's been great. My guess is that the Wild will try to get Spurgeon and Middleton out there against McDavid, but as we know, I mean, McDavid could play against anybody and light him up. So I think we'll see. I mean, Edmonton's had some tough losses lately, and Minnesota's coming up there, and they haven't played their best hockey lately. They seem to be getting points every single night, but I think tomorrow, with 3 games left before the Olympics for the Wild, I think it's a very important game.
But it was interesting. I saw everybody knows that in an ideal world, the Wild would like to get a second line center. I think that, or maybe even a higher, if Joel Eriksson's your number 2, you got a really good number 2. And I saw people talk about, well, hey, maybe they trade one of their goalies because they do have 2 elite goalies. Bill Guerin has never been afraid to make a big splash. Now, there's not a lot of legit centers out there. Like, I don't think he's trading Nazem Kadri for one of those guys. That doesn't make any sense. But do you think, do you think I don't know if it's a trade deadline thing, but how serious do you think Bill Guerin would be? Would he move one of his goalies to get that center? And I think it would actually make sense.
Yeah, definitely. If that goalie becomes available, a true number 1 center becomes available, he will swing, and he'll use Jesper Falstead to do that. There's just no doubt. You don't trade 4 huge pieces for Quinn Hughes and then just be done and content with, with all due respect, Ryan Hartman is your number 1 center, or Danil Yurov. And both those guys have had really, good, seasons and but they're not your prototypical number 1 center, that's for sure. So if somebody became available, I think he'd do it. I think more likely, they try to add like a Vincent Trocheck or something like that, and then they'd use Volstad in a summer move where maybe more likely would be the opportunity to make a big swing for a real top guy. But there's no doubt that he's sizing up the market right now to try to figure out what's out there and what he could trade. I still think it'll be hard for him to do something before the Olympic trade freeze. But again, he's going to be in Milan with 4 GMs on his staff, 2 of them in Tom Fitzgerald and Chris Drury, who have some players that the Wild might be interested in. Obviously, Canada will have 4 or 5 NHL GMs on their staff over there, so he could actually have face-to-face conversations during the freeze over in Milan, because as we know, once you get to the Olympics, there's not a lot for these guys to do. It's like being a GM during the playoffs. There's really nothing to do. So my guess is that he's going to be, using that time to really try to scour the market and make some sort of deal when they come out of the Olympic break.
So when you look at the names, because, that big swing might not be there for now, but who do you see Bill Guerin targeting to try to get some center help between now and the deadline?
I think Trocheck makes a lot of sense. As of last week, they hadn't talked to the Rangers, but as I mentioned, he'll be with Drury next week. That also could very well change. Trocheck makes a lot of sense for this team. They need right shots. He's a great face-off winning center. You can put him on the bumper in the power play, which might be able to put Kaprizov in a better shooting position. He can kill penalties. Hasn't been very good this year. Not a lot of Rangers have. But he makes a lot of sense. I think Ryan O'Reilly makes a ton of sense, but Ryan, right now Nashville's hanging in there, and Ryan's going to control where he goes and if he goes. He, as has been reported many times, Ryan does not have protection, but Barry Trotz is treating him as such. So if he doesn't want to go, he's probably not going. Charlie Coyle, somebody they've talked about. I think they've talked to Ottawa. I think they've made a lot of phone calls. They've also tried for big swings. I think they'd be interested in anybody from Robert Thomas to even a Nico Hischier. But I think right now he's in kind of look and see mode, and then he'll try to do something, more significant, most likely after the Olympic freeze.
Yeah, you mentioned Robert Thomas, and like this guy led the NHL in scoring. Now, short sample size, of course, coming out of Four Nations last year. And a lot of people he had 40 points in 24 games. And a lot of people think, okay, that was going to carry over, but it hasn't. But that doesn't mean that he's lost all his ability, right? Like it just might mean that you could trade at maybe get a guy a little bit lower value as far as what you have to give up in return right now. And Robert Thomas, to me, would make great sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Doug Armstrong has traded inside the division before, right? So, he's not afraid to do that if the price is right. My guess still is that he's going to want a huge amount of assets for somebody like Robert Thomas, who's also under a pretty affordable contract with a lot of term left. The issue that Bill Guerin has is that he has traded a ton of assets in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
In the David Jiricek trade and the Gustav Nyquist trade, and then obviously in the Quinn Hughes trade. So he's only got a precious few number of assets left, which is why we're even talking about the possibility of trading Volstead. So the issue that I see him having is that he's got to really be patient here and not just take the first thing that falls in his corner. Because if all of a sudden he trades a Volstead or trades a Danila Yurov for something, and then all of a sudden this summer, a Jack Hughes became available, a Brady Tkachuk became available, whoever that is, then you're going to really regret the fact that you traded your goalie. Look, he traded Rossi, Ogren, a first, and Boyum for Quinn Hughes. He traded a first, second, third, and fourth for Jiricek, who has not panned out so far. A second for Nyquist. There's just been a lot of assets kind of given away here the last couple of years. So he's really got to be patient with whatever he does next. I know there's an aggressiveness that they want to do after sort of sitting on the sidelines for the last 4 years. But look, and you've got to do something to try to get past Dallas and Colorado and also give Quinn a reason to resign here. But you've got to make sure that this next move, this next big swing that he, admittedly wants to make, it's got to be the right move.
Mike Russo joins us, and I erroneously said the Wild were in third. They're actually with the win last night. They're still ahead of Dallas by 1 point. So, that's been a dogfight between those two for home ice, but very slowly, Mike. They're like, it used to be 12 points. Now it's down to 7. I know Colorado has games in hand, but they also means they're going to have a condensed schedule coming out of it. I still don't know if it's realistic to get all the way to first place, but how important do you think that second and third home ice advantages between the Wild and the Stars?
Well, I think it's very important in a league where the top 3 teams in the league, theoretically, one could start on the road and 2 could be out by round 2. I think it's important to try to get home ice. The Wild are usually very, very good at home. They have a rabid crowd. I think that's important. They've tried to play Dallas before, starting on the road if they played Dallas, and that has not usually gone their way. Getting home ice advantage, I think it would be important. I agree with you. It's going to be hard to catch Colorado, but look, Colorado has sort of hit those dog days of the season right now. They've had not only losses, but really bad losses lately. Ottawa, Montreal last night, they got smoked. So it's been happening to them, and they just feel like they've hit that point of the season where they're starting to struggle a little bit. I wouldn't panic by any stretch. I think all teams go through it. I think it's good that all teams have little bumps in the road. I don't think you want to get to the playoffs and only have a couple regulation losses. So I still think it's Colorado's conference and probably President's Trophy to lose, but the Wild are feeling really good about their game. Like Colorado and Dallas, they're probably going to make a big swing at some point. And the question is, which of the 3 teams really, put themselves in prime position to go on a run, if they can get there in the playoffs. Obviously, you got a lot of really good teams in Edmonton and Vegas and all that teams in a really tough conference right now. So the Wild know that they can't be done yet.
Mike, is Brett Hall just not acknowledged as an American anymore? What the hell's going on? Like, I get the American born part of it, but really, like, you're the top American player in points. You're the top American player in points. Like, everybody loved Brett Hall when he played for the USA and helped them win the 96 World Cup. Like, it seems odd from a distance, all this stuff about this. And then, like, are they going to do it again when he passes Brett Hall?
As I joked with you yesterday, we only claim Hull when he's convenient for us. That's actually a line that I use for a buddy of mine that's in the NHL, that is dual citizen, and I always joke with him, like, he's American when it's convenient for him, a Canadian when it's convenient for him. When he wants to get the TSN and Sportsnet packages down in Florida, he figures out a way to become Canadian. When he wants to pay, that type of thing. So that was the joke I was giving you last night. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, when Brett Hull was sitting there dressing in red, white, and blue, and in Olympics and World Cups and things like that, we gladly accepted him. But now suddenly Patrick Kane is the highest scoring American ever. So I don't know. I mean, the U.S. born part is probably, I think it is something that, like, we're just like, looking at a birth certificate there and trying to essentially say that Patrick Kane is now the all-time leading scorer amongst Americans. But you're right. When he passes Hull, I guess we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah, when it does, the good news is then we'll never have to hear American born again. It'll just be both points by American, right? Because it's like I was seeing even online last night, there was lots of play. Oh, Patrick Kane's got the most points as American. No, he doesn't. Right. So it's odd, and it's nothing to take away from Patrick Kane. He's an unreal player, and I think he's probably the best American player of all time to date. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the Olympics, of course, Team USA has made a change already with the Seth Jones injury. You look at their team heading in against Canada and some of the other best ones, but obviously the USA, I think, their goal is Canada and Sweden. I think they probably feel they can beat all of them. But how do you think they match up against the Canadians?
I mean, I think that these are the two best countries so far that we're going to see there. But I look at Canada as heads and shoulders above everybody until somebody basically beats them on an international stage. When you have McDavid and McKinnon and Crosby and McCarr and Celebrini playing at the levels that all five of them are playing, I just think that it is their medal to lose, and it's going to be awfully hard for everybody else. The Americans went in and tried to build a team that they feel could check because of the fact that they don't feel that they can get into a end-to-end skills competition with those type of players. And so we'll see the way it goes. I mean, they have a group that it's probably too easy, and that would be my biggest fear for them. Is that I just think that they're going to lap through their group and probably get into the medal round pretty confident, and I don't know necessarily challenged, and that could be a big time problem once they get there. Where I do think that Canada is going to get there and be pretty battle tested. So I leave for Milan on Monday. I can't wait to cover this tournament. I'm covering the women as well, and obviously at the end of the day, I assume that we're going to see U.S. and Canada in the gold medal game there as well.
Yeah, USA women though are like if the Canadian men are the favorites, I don't think there's any doubt the US women are the favorites.
Yeah, I covered those 4 rivalry series games. As you know, I was in Edmonton for 4 or 5 days there in December. I was there actually when Quinn Hughes was traded to the Wild and got to spend a lot of time with his mom, who's on the USA Hockey women's staff. And I'm actually working on a big feature on her now. But the one thing about the U.S. women is they are young, they are skilled, they are fast, and Canada's down. They have a real veteran lineup, and obviously I think that even the Americans would say still the best player in the world in Poulin. But you look at some of those American women, and Taylor Heisey and Abby Murphy, and obviously they still got Hillary Knight and players like that, but they are so talented that I just the way that they smoked the Canadians in all 4 of those games, outscored them by 17 goals, I believe it was. It's just going to be really, really hard. But look, this is a different battlefield playing over in the Olympics, and there's been 6-7 weeks since the last rivalry series. A lot have changed, and we'll see how it goes.
Mike, always great to catch up with you, buddy. We'll see you at the rink, man. Have an awesome day.
Yep, see you, Jason.
There you go. That is Mike Russo from The Athletic. So the Wild, hey, they really spanked the Oilers lately. So Edmonton, you know what? I would recommend maybe not get down 3-0 to the Wild. And playing a Wild team might be good for them. The Oilers, another day off. Hey, you're winning games at home. That's all that matters. They've won 3 in a row. Break out the champagne. They've won 3 in a row. When we come back, We are a week away from the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. And then, man, all the fun begins for viewers. And it's still fun for participants, probably a little bit stressful, but making sure you enjoy the moment, easier said than done. Talk about how you do it as an Olympian next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
The Bricks Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more. Get up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a fantastic day. Also, any minor hockey coaches, arena coaches, do you need a 90-minute practice slot next Sunday at the Nate Arena? It's a great slot. It's awesome. We ended up getting scheduled with the game, so have a slot there for anybody who wants it. Give you a really good deal. So, get to our manager. So text me if you're a hockey coach, arena coach, who wants some ice time next Sunday at 6:30 to 8. Could use it as exhibition game, depending on your age, or just good practice. Now, let's get to In the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical. You've got their commercial service division, where they do emergency response, troubleshooting and repairs, full-time service manager, estimator, service contracts. They will ensure they get everything that you need done and done on time at actionelectrical.net. As Olympic gold medalist Lorianne Munzer joins us once again. She always does on Friday. And Lorianne, big news, obviously the flag bearers announced for Canada. They're going with two, and it's kind of unique because everything is so spread out here. There's kind of like different opening ceremonies. It's a very different type of Olympics in that way.
I think it is with the two different cities, and it's just, okay, we're at the Olympics, but like what we've talked before is it's not everybody under one roof or in one area. And I think that's going to be an interesting dynamics. I think we'll probably get athletes coming over from one village into another. And I think that'll create some great dynamics.
Yeah, well, I know I'm talking to some of the players, like, where the skiing is and stuff, and curling, it's like 5 hours away, really. So you're not going to be interacting as much as you would in a normal village. But I talked to Mark Kennedy, and he said he's actually excited for him. Now, this is his fourth Olympics, but he was never in the same area as the skiers or the gliders or anything. And so basically the sliders, one of the luge track is literally right outside where his curling is, right at the bottom. So they'll be able to be like, you know what, we'll probably be able to catch some things that, when you've done it 4 times, you have a different experience. So, he's kind of excited because it's something a little bit different for him. But, and for those who've been there the first time, they won't know any different. They're just like, I'm at the Olympics. I don't really care. Like when you went, did you ever actually get to watch any other events?
I did the first time I went. So it's sometimes you're given opportunity to go and watch other venues that you like, that you love. Sometimes you have tickets. Sometimes you put your name in a list, and then it's, luck of the draw, literally. And other times it's like, hey, we're going, or I've got to get to this game. And yeah, there's spots and spaces. So a lot of it too, Gregor, is when you're at the Olympics, being in the venues, but being at the Winter Olympics, watching the skiing, the downhill skiing, if you're on course, you only see just like a flash, and it's just a speck. If you're interested in seeing the whole thing, hearing, the analysis of what it is, the play-by-play, it's probably better to watch it on TV. But being in the venues, like at the curling rink, being at the bottom of the skiing is going to be just incredible because you've got the energy of the crowd. Everybody's together. There's that camaraderie. Of course, you have the cowbells going off a lot more than you do in the Summer Olympics, but it's just going to be amazing.
So, Michael Kingsbury, of course, we got two flag bearers, and both of them in their fourth Olympics.
Yes.
Right.
They're both 33. So Mikhail Kingsbury and Marielle Thompson. That's a new name for me. Looked her up, and she is ski cross. And ski cross took me back to when I was racing Kieran on the track. So ski cross is crazy course, turns, jumps, air. It's 4 to 6 skiers on the course at the same time. There is bumping and dumping, which we've talked about in cycling before. It's an aggressive sport, but there's one catch that I did not realize. It's also a timed event.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, not only do you have like 3 or 4 or 5 other, athletes that are giving you a really hard time because they want to be the first one down and across the finish line, you're also timed. So it just like levels it up to a whole other playing field.
Yeah, definitely in the qualification rounds. Like you might, hey man, I won my heat.
Yep.
Yeah, but you might, if you're not the fastest to go through, especially in like not so much the semifinal, but in like the quarterfinals and stuff.
Yep.
That's where you're like, okay, I got to win, but I also don't want to get caught too much in it. So, but I've like ski cross. I've become a huge fan of that. Snowboard cross, same thing. Like it's a little bit like roller derby on skis. Like it is chaos at times.
It is. And I think that's what just draws you in because it is absolutely crazy. You can't be soft and gentle. You got to go really hard. You got to flick the switch before you get onto the course, and you just got to go as soon as the gates open and you're off, because otherwise you get left behind and you cannot make up the time. Like there's no room for error. There's no margin for error. You have to be on mentally. You have to be on physically, and yet you've got to be loose. So if you bang into somebody or you run into somebody, you've got to be able to respond versus react, because then you tense up, and that's usually when you wipe out injuries and that sort of thing happens.
It was interesting. I spoke to Mark yesterday. Mark Kennedy's coming on the show today. And we were just, I was like, hey, the Olympics, he's a father now.
Yes.
His kids are going to come for the first time. So he's like, I'm going to kind of be the experience in the Olympics through their eyes, which will be cool. And they're old enough, 17 and I think 14. So they'll really remember it. But he's won the gold. He's had a bronze and he's also finished fourth. And, it goes, his perspective's kind of changed. He goes like, you know what? When I lost in fourth, like it was awful, but you get home and you're like, the sun comes up and you know what? You're still able to go there. But that's where experience comes in, right? Like he'll go to the Olympics and he goes, the nerves are going to be there. There's lots of good teams. You got to be on your best if you want to win ultimately, but you're a little bit more relaxed. I'm sure Lorianne Munzer first time in compared to Lorianne Munzer even the second time, you're a little bit different, right? So for first timers, and there are lots of first timers who are only one timers. Not everybody gets to go to the Olympics multiple times, right? There's a select few who do for sure. But what are some of, and I know you're a mental coach. How do you, because it would be easy to say, well, just, don't get too stressed out. Well, yeah, thanks, Sherlock, but it's not that easy, right? Like you experience it. People can tell you everything, but when you're in it, it's almost impossible not to feel it, I would think.
Oh, totally. When you're in it, I equate it to being inside of the pressure cooker. You're not outside of it. You're actually in it. And then you get shaken up and stirred and thrown around and all of that. One of the best things, Jason, in preparing for it is talk to somebody who has been to the Olympics. What was their experience? What are the lessons learned? What did they find really helpful? But then you have to take your own stuff that works for you. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So what is your mental preparation? What is your food? What is your travel? What do you do with equipment? If equipment goes sideways, I never expected my wheels and tires to blow up. So what are you going to do if there's an unexpected? And sometimes it's fun just to, like with your team, is just to prepare and talk about like, what are all the things that could go sideways? Because then your mind has that, oh, I've already been there before. I know what I could do, or I know who I could reach out to and call. And then it's also, I highly recommend for everybody doing something new or going for a new experience is write it out the way you're expecting it to go. How do you want your days to go? Get up in the morning. Are you doing your regular routine? What time are your trainings? Where is the training? Who's around you that, you can reach out to for help? Medical. That's the one cool thing about the Olympics. We had medical team, chiropractors, we had massage therapists, we had physios. Your body, sometimes, you come up with an injury. So what are you going to do? And what do you need to be at your best so that you can perform at your best and just do what everybody says is impossible, or come close to a personal best, or just rock it out your personal best?
Yeah. And I'm sure the pressure, like there's your initial race, but in most sports, it's like qualifying, right? Like you don't need to be your best in race one, right? Like you still, you don't need to, you can't be your worst, but like, do you go as hard as you did? Like I look at all the times and no one's time in their first heat is the same time that they're winning out of the medals, right?
Well, first off, you got to get the jitters out of the bag. You just got to get rid of them, because that first one really sets the stage and is going to give you a good idea of, has my training paid off? Am I where I'm expecting to be? Am I undertrained? Am I overtrained? Am I right on par? And a lot of athletes, sometimes they just go out so hard because it's nerves. But again, you've got to reel it in. So again, preparing for that. Not that there's any pressure. There's how many million people watching. I think there's 108 women going to the Olympics for Team Canada, 99 men going. So we've got like a whole nation behind you, rallying, cheering you on. And it's just, what are you going to be doing and what are you going to do with it? So number one, it's getting the jitters out. And from there on, it gets a little better, because it's like, okay, I've got my first run. I've had my first heat. I've done my first event, and you got to put it on the line, because sometimes you don't get that second chance.
Oh gosh, no. And that's,
so you could be out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's the fine balance though. And that's probably the gamesmanship of understanding, like, I got to go good enough to qualify, but I don't want to, especially on the days when you have to do multiple heats in one day, right? And every sport's different. Some sports don't go the same day, but lots do.
Absolutely. Part of it is energy management. That's the biggest thing there. It's mental energy, but it's also the physical energy of, so where are you going? The other thing that I was just thinking about is if you're in heats and waves, you may be thinking about competing against somebody and going, okay, well, I'm ahead of them and I know where my strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and that. But what happens if it changes up and you get the wild card of like, oh my gosh, I'm in a stacked heat? Jason, you cannot hold back. You got to light it up. You got to go. Sometimes you've got a minute or 2 minutes, however long your event is.
Yeah, that's the other part that's crazy, right? Like, it's usually like, we're not marathon runners here. But like most events are, boom.
They're so fast.
Yeah.
But here's the thing in training, it's like if your event lasts like a minute all out, you know that you can only sustain so much, but your training is you are training longer than the actual event, because if you're not training long enough, you're not going to be making it to the end of the run. So you've got to load up that capacity, and so that when you come to race to compete, it's not as hard, but you've been there, but you've like overloaded your system mentally and physically. And then you got to figure out where that fine line is and when to turn it on, when to, keep the foot on the gas, but don't take it off, but where you can like smooth right into it in flow versus a force. Like you got to power it through. Because a lot of people think that athletics is, it's like football. It's like, boom, you got to go, you got to hit hard. Sometimes you do, but you also have to be loose and find that zone. And it's finding that sweet spot.
It seemed, because you raced for many, decades, and you had a lot of experience. And even then, some days you found the sweet spot, and then other days you had to grind just to get through, right? Like I'm sure that's something that a lot of athletes like, I don't feel my best today. Well, that's normal. Most people aren't good, but it's finding how to give your best when you don't feel your best. How did you find that? Like, and because I hear that a lot of times, oh geez, I just don't feel it today. Now, sometimes it comes from fuel. You didn't eat properly or something. Maybe you didn't have a great sleep the night before. That always plays a factor. But did you learn things that enabled you to grind better when you didn't have your best? Is it just mental?
Oh, it's all mental at that point, because physically it's like, well, it's going to be whatever it is. But it always came down to what was my plan. And when I ask athletes if they were successful or if they weren't, is what was your plan? A lot of them haven't rewritten what their destiny is going to be or what their expectation is. And I even find that with a lot of business students, a lot of people in corporate, in business is, well, what was your intention? What did you expect the outcome to be? And if you don't have a plan, you're playing with a crapshoot. Whereas if you have a plan, you can counter it 3 different ways. And then you've got, okay, I've got the whole spectrum. So if something comes up, then I can counter it. But your mind always then knows what to expect. But if there are no expectations, then it's like, well, you're just throwing the cards up and hoping they're going to land wherever they do land. And sometimes it's not where you expect them to be.
Lorianne, we will talk about some fun stuff, opening ceremonies and other stuff next Friday, and then we're right into it. I can't wait. It should be a lot of fun just to see as all the athletes get there and the expectations. There's always going to be a few surprise stories, which is fantastic, and so maybe we'll see, because I know you like to dig in on all the Canadians. So we'll have Lorianne's Who to Watch next Friday. So we'll look for that.
Looking forward to it, Jason.
Awesome. That's Lorianne Munzer, Olympic gold medalist. That's In the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical. Let's get to Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. Tires, oil change, service repair. They do it all. One-stop shop to make sure that your vehicle is safe and on the road. FountainTire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Elks have released Canadian quarterback Trey Ford. Ford was originally selected by the club in the first round, 8th overall in 2022, appearing in 60 games, throwing for over 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 19 INTs. Ford now free to sign with any team. In the NHL, just one game tonight. Blue Jackets in Chicago. Puck drop 6:30 in the association. The Raptors are in Orlando at 5:30. You've also got the Cavs meeting the Suns, and Nuggets host the Clippers, and Warriors taking on the Pistons. In the WHL, the Oil Kings in Moose Jaw taking on the Warriors. That one gets going just after 6. In the BCHL, Saints in Cranbrook, while the Crusaders host Blackhawks at 7 in the AJ 5 games, including GP and Camrose. Canmore hosting Devon and Olds, taking on Drayton Valley. Can West, the Golden Bears hockey team in Winnipeg tonight and tomorrow. Pandas hosting Manitoba tonight and tomorrow down at the Drake, and the McEwen men's team taking on UBC. Women hosting the Thunderbirds at the DCA. From the NFL, the Minnesota Vikings firing GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and the Ravens hiring former Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle as their new OC. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Wanye Gretz. We'll also hear from Alan Mitchell and speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment.
And every Sunday with the Edmonton Oil Kings at Rogers Place is a family fun Sunday.
Featuring a full concourse carnival with bouncy castles, face painting, and more.
Plus, a post-game player autograph session after every Edmonton Oil Kings Family Fun Sunday matchup.
The entertainment value is king size.
The best day at Rogers Place starts at $20 a seat at oilkings.ca.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities.
Friday.
The Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Wow, get ready for positive. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice. CWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now. This is the time of year when so many people go to the new RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new right up until the time they leave the showroom. Then they're used. Just like every quality used RV on our lot. Somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars less just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go, Rick?
It stays in our customers' pockets, Bob, because we sell those same RVs just a few years later. If it wasn't for new RV buyers, we'd be out of business. That's why we give thanks every year. You make it all possible.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Horses of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.308. Oh my goodness! Like, I'm an optimistic person. I love it, but I'm also a realist. And man, there is some wild stuff going on right now. We're going to get to that in a second in the sports world. It's going to make it just some lines by certain people. It was just the one line that made me laugh, but we'll get to that. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, every day we got the Jason Gregor Show specials. Now, remember, on order weekend games, you always pop up one, so you might want to check it out tomorrow before the game. But we have a little early Super Bowl pick, if you like. There is only one game in the NHL tonight, but, of course, Chicago and Columbus, so we found a few to get in on that one, and a Connor Bedard power play one. So check that out at playalberta.ca. This line made me chuckle. So the Vancouver Canucks, as everybody knows, hey, the Canucks, they're in one right now as far as not making the playoffs. They're currently in dead last in the NHL, and that's honestly a good place for them at where they're going, where the team's at. They need to get good picks, or give themselves the best chance to make a good pick. And they got a 7-point lead on Calgary right now in the lottery dance. So good for them. But, last night, Vancouver wins a game, 2-0 over the Ducks. And, there's a chance late in the game, we want the cup. Sure, people are having a sense of humor. But they're writing quote, "It was said Vancouver couldn't handle the rebuild. That appears to have been wrong based on the supportive environment at Rogers Arena." And I'm like, the rebuild hasn't even started. What are we talking about? It's easy to cheer for it when you're excited about getting the first overall. Talk to me in 3 years. Edmonton fans are pretty damn loyal. But we hosted a show for a decade, trust me. If you think cheering that would be equivalent to the Oilers because they'd been competitive in 2008 and 9, right? They're close, just missed the playoffs. And the Oilers in 2010, people were excited not because the team stunk, because you're, oh my God, we get a number 1 overall pick. It's going to change everything. Right? And obviously that didn't happen right away. Took a few years, sure. But don't tell me that Vancouver is going to handle a rebuild nicely because it's early on. Right? This is the honeymoon phase. You know how it is. The honeymoon phase is great. You get in that new relationship, think about it. Guys, girls, you're dating someone the first 3 weeks. You're all super excited. We've all been there. It's nice. You can't wait. You're checking you're checking your phone. You're texting. It's like, oh, this is amazing. Right? Glorious. It doesn't always last. Now it stays good. That's not the same. And then all of a sudden you hit a little road bump and all of a sudden you realize, what? This person, how they clean the bathroom. Or maybe all of a sudden now you're like, oh my God, this person snores. Or, God, I've never really been in the room and geez, they're really dirty. And now all of a sudden you got to weigh things. Well, it's a little different. You're the Vancouver Canucks. Don't tell me because their fans were cheering last night that they're ready and are going to handle a rebuild nicely over the term of it. Because that's nice and it's wishful thinking, but talk to me 2 years into the rebuild, Connor Halley. Everybody likes the idea of it until you're in it for a longer period of time. That's just a fact, right? Because losing sucks for a fan. You can only be excited because whoever their number 1 pick's going to be this year, whatever they pick, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever, 5th, wherever they pick, they're going to bring that person in next year probably. And are they going to have instant success? I hope so. Unlikely. And they're going to have another bad year. And then what happens is after year 2, that's when people are like, okay, it's been 2 years. Now we need to win. Right? No one sits there and says, okay, you know what? I'm gonna pay my season ticket price for 8 years and be super excited all 8 years because our team stinks. Not realistic. And especially, no offense, Vancouver is they're not a sports town to the level of Edmonton and other markets across the country. They're just not. That's not a knock. They got lots to do. They like it there. Weather's great. But I'll be curious to see what the fans are like, Connor Halley, at this time next year.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, we want the cup chant is absolutely hilarious. But year 2, year 3, when all of a sudden you're getting offered tickets to the game because nobody wants to go anymore. Like, how many times did we see that where, you just get the call, hey, you want to go to the game? I got free tickets. So-and-so doesn't want to go. It's a dead atmosphere. You're not watching the best hockey. There's not really the star player to get excited for. Yeah, you can kind of fake it for a while and just say, oh, yeah, it'll be a 1-year thing. But if they don't turn that around in a couple years, that's when the questions are going to start to be asked. Because, I mean, we saw it in Edmonton too, Gregor, did we not? Like, there was a lot of tickets available. There was some empty seats, despite saying it was a sellout. Like, it gets tough. So I wouldn't want to be going through it. I bless them. I hope for their sake it doesn't last too long, because I love a Vancouver-Edmonton rivalry once again, the one that I thought we were going to have after the playoffs. But yeah, there's going to be some bleak years ahead.
And Greg's, the Canucks aren't rebuilding. They're just rearranging the rubble from Trey. Well, you see, okay, Evander Kane's name is out there. Sure. I can understand that. But I look at, other pieces on their team. So they've already traded Kiefer Sherwood. You have other pending UFAs, Teddy Bluger, David Camp. Depth guys. Somebody might take, teams are always looking for a fourth line center who can win a draw. David Camp isn't a second line center, what he's playing in Vancouver, but you know what I mean. Derek Forbort, but he's hurt. Other than that, they got no other UFAs. So then you look at guys, okay, who might have a year left on their deal. Well, then you can look at guys like, Drew O'Connor, Philip Hedl, Tyler Myers. Like Tyler Myers at $3 million, I could see there being interest from some teams. No question. But, you've heard names like Elias Pettersson, Jake DeBrusk, guys who a team acquires them. Now, Jake DeBrusk obviously at 5.5 is very different than 11.6, right? And DeBrusk has 5 more years after this one, right? Pettersson has 6 more years after this. So does Brock Besser. And, the more of your better players you trade away, usually the longer your rebuild is going into, which is fine. If you commit to it, you got to commit to it. And then you got to get lucky, right? You got to get lucky. The Oilers, their luck, you can look at it. It started, even if you want to say in 2011 when New Jersey won the draft lottery, but they could only move up 4 places. Edmonton didn't lose their spot. They got Nugent Hopkins, being a pretty good player. But then they got lucky when Florida and Buffalo, neither one chose Draisaitl. They got Draisaitl. Then the next year, they won the McDavid lottery, right? Like, those 2 years are massive for this organization. Massive, right? If somebody would have taken Draisaitl, very different. And what if the lottery combination didn't come out McDavid, right? How different would it be? Might have extended for many more years, right? The frustration could have lasted a lot longer. So all you got to do is look at Buffalo. It's 14 years, man. And thankfully for Sabres fans, they've got some wins now. And I loved Alex Tuck's comments afterwards that they're not just wanting to squeeze in. We believe that our goal is to become a more competitive team. Are you looking to buy something, Connor Halley? I know you and Declan have always talked about you guys want to get into the sports business opportunities. Well, after next Sunday, the Seattle Seahawks are up for sale.
Oh, how much?
7 to 8 billion is what people are suggesting. Interesting timing. So imagine if they win, how much higher is their price tag just from winning? I'll be curious. So,
yeah, because was it Paul Allen was the previous owner? His sister took over.
Yeah,
man, they're gonna sell a lot of merchandise if they win. Either way, their worth is going up, but that's crazy. Yeah, well, I'll talk to my investor group and we'll see. Maybe Declan and I can get in on that. We'll call Rich. Who was it to help us facilitate that sale?
Yeah, maybe we'll have to talk to Rich. We had a few guys in the show who've done it, so never know. Hey, guys, I don't want a Vancouver-Edmonton rivalry to spark anymore. The playoff series in 24 was enough for that Vancouver fan base. The series is off the hook, though, on the social media platforms from Drew. Oh, God, yeah.
I've never muted so many fans on social media. It was unbelievable.
Really?
I would post the most like middle of the line. Remember when McDavid got cross-checked in the face? Who got it? Was at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that could have been bad for McDavid. And the amount of Canucks fans that were like, he deserved it. He started it. It was crazy. But I think that would have been such a good rivalry going forward, don't you think? Had they been able to keep that team?
Why don't you just mute a conversation? They don't even have to see the people's response.
I did do that eventually too. Yeah. It was wild, but hey, they got to go enjoy their beautiful city after that playoff series. So that was the best part about it.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, guys, I'm a Blackhawks fan, and Gregor, I agree. Rebuilds are a painful experience from Spinner. Well, Spinner, you know it. Oiler fans know it. Buffalo fans have experienced it more than many others. Columbus Blue Jackets, Detroit Red Wings. Like, man, you get in one, it can be a long, arduous road back. And it doesn't guarantee that the path leads to continued success. Right? You hope it does. And like, it's funny. People believe that your rebuild should lead to a Stanley Cup. And if it doesn't, it's a failure. You're like, do you know how many teams are in rebuild at the same time? And then how many come out roughly, give or take, around the same time? They can't all win. They just can't. And if you look at playoff success, I think at times people forget just how difficult it is. Like if you look at, and I guess we could eliminate the 20 season because that was a little bit different as far as playoff games going. I don't like that they included those teams where it was just play-ins, so I didn't love it. But so let's just go back through the last 5 seasons in the NHL for playoffs and how many teams are really in there. So Florida's played 84 games. Edmonton's played 79. Florida's been to 3 Stanley Cup finals. Edmonton's been to 2 in a conference final. Carolina Hurricanes are next, and they've never even made the Cup. They're at 66. Dallas Stars are at 63. Since 21, they haven't made a Cup. They were in Edmonton, of course, in 2020, but I'm talking from 21. Now, they did go to 3 consecutive Western Conference finals. Great, but not enough. Tampa Bay, heck, they've won 2 Cups, been to another, and they still have only played 6. Like, think about that. Well, they won 1 Cup, sorry. They won a Cup, they lost a Cup, so they've been to 2 finals, and Edmonton still played 17 more games than them in that time. Vegas Golden Knights, they won a Cup in that span, 59. Colorado won a Cup. They're at 55. So that's where, when people say Edmonton, it hasn't really worked, I'm like, what? So if you get 1 Cup, I guess it all depends on what. I get that you want to win the Cup, but you need a little bit of luck sometimes to win the Cup, no question. Health, everything else, you got to make a trade that works out better than you think. Sure, happens to everybody. But it's funny when you look at Colorado, they did win 1 Cup here in the last 5 years. They've played 55 playoff games. Edmonton has played 79. Edmonton has 43 playoff wins. Colorado has 34. Right? Like it's Florida, of course, has won 2 Cups in that time. Vegas, Colorado, and Tampa have each won. And Edmonton's played more playoff games in that span. And remember, I could even get rid of 21 because that's the year Edmonton, they didn't even win a playoff game that year. Remember, they got swept by the Jets? Good times. So it's hard, right? In the last 4 playoff years, the Oilers and Florida have each played 78 for Florida, 75 for Edmonton. Right? And then it gets down, like Colorado's at 45. Vegas is at 40. Tampa's at 39. Like it is hard to continually be good in the NHL playoffs. Right? And really, in the last 4 seasons, there are 8 NHL teams who haven't even played a playoff game. Montreal and Ottawa and Pittsburgh have each played 1 series. That's it. So at any given time when you're talking rebuild, there's basically 10 other teams that are kind of in Suckville with you over a 4-year span. So that's always a reminder for Canucks fans, or maybe you got buddies who are Canucks fans. You might want to remind them, just because you're singing "We Want the Cup" 2 months into your, because be honest, no one thought Vancouver was rebuilding at the start of the season. No one. I didn't hear anybody, oh, this is a rebuild year for the Canucks. Everybody thought they're going to get back in the playoffs. I thought they'd be competitive. They haven't been. So it's nice early times here, but let's pump the brakes on Vancouver can handle a rebuild, because they sang "We Want the Cup" on January 29th. I would say that's a tad hyperbolic. Quick break. When we return, let's get to Low Tide. Next, it's Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's fourth season is underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities across multiple AAA divisions. With over 55 teams, the JPHL is redefining the family experience by making elite hockey financially accessible. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups. Learn why the JPHL is Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Curious to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
'26. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, Sports 1440. Sports 1440. That's YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Friday. And interesting, they're replaying Game 7 of the World Series right now. And it's funny, they call it disaster. It's just interesting how everything's presented. Savage gives up a home run in the 8th, right? And then the closer gives up a homer in the 9th. And that was really the only bad pitch he had the whole World Series cons. And they're like, disaster. I'm like, well, they're all kind of disaster. The The whole after the 6th inning was a disaster for the Jays. God, you rewatch it, you forget just they should have won that game, man. Oh my goodness. Should have won that game. Oh, also the hesitation to not run home right away. That was a tough one too.
Did his foot come off the plate?
No.
I remember that at the time, one of the announcers kind of let that slip, and I thought, they're going to win this way. This is going to happen.
Yeah. No. Tough one. God, that is rough, buddy. Rough. So we'll see. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Do you want to go shopping at Go Auto? Well, they got 15,000 vehicles to choose from. Anything that tickles your fancy, they will have it. 79 different locations, goauto.ca. As the host of The Lowdown, Alan Mitchell joins us. LT, how you doing?
I'm very well. It's a beautiful day. Winter's over. Yeah.
Winter's over. Nice, Al. I like the positivity. Maybe the minus 20 is over for sure. I'd be minus 25. I'd be fine with that. But hey, Al, you know what is over? The inability to win 3 in a row. It's over. I don't have to talk about it again.
Yeah, and you know what? They stormed back to do it. They show up late, fashionably late often, but when they they're such a ridiculous team, when they decide to go for it, almost anything's possible. And I mean, I understand San Jose Sharks are the Florida Panthers or the Carolina Hurricanes, but they are just kind of inevitable. And who knows, human nature being what it is, they didn't show up on time again, and that is frustrating. And they should have won 3 in a row a long time ago. But they really do have that extra gear that maybe other teams don't have.
No, their big guys can turn it on for sure. And, I thought Leon Draisaitl had a really strong game last night for Edmonton. What did you make of the first period, though, Al? It's like that first shift from your top line could not have been worse.
Yeah, it was, the outlet passing is a problem, and teams have they game plan the Oilers to clog up the neutral zone and pick off passes. So it's not so much trying to clog it up and slow them down as they go through the neutral zone. It's just a hawk passes, right? They're all DBs. And San Jose is really fast and good and young and aggressive. And when they get their confidence up, they play brilliantly. But those were errant passes. Those were, players trying to beat another player one-on-one and not making it happen. And all of those things are overcomable, and they're rare for that top pairing in line. I mean, giving up 2 goals that quickly for the McDavid line and the Bouchard-Ekholm pairing isn't, they don't do that in the first few minutes of most games, but it is something that really does have to be ironed out. And it points out the importance of breakouts. It's been a problem at times when aggressive teams forecheck, and they're still, trying to perfect it. And, last night was an example of maybe not doing so well and then settling in and then, returning and coming back and playing a hell of a game.
I look at the Minnesota Wild, who come in town and tomorrow night. Now, we had Mike Russo on earlier, and they're without Jonas Brodin, who's one of those defenders who he doesn't shut down McDavid, but he does a better job containing them than most historically. He's out. Bogosian maybe will play. And the Wild, though, they got Quinn Hughes now. He's playing 28 minutes a night. It's crazy. But, they're more exciting and entertaining. And I just wonder if a little bit more up-tempo Wild might actually be better for Edmonton.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, thank God the Lemaire Wild aren't coming to town, because that was tough to watch. But the thing about the Wild is there are teams that have another team's number, and it really feels like they are like that with the Oilers. So it's going to be a good test for Edmonton. They're no matter what happens tomorrow night, they'll have had a pretty good January, followed by which preceded by a pretty good December. So they're within spitting distance in terms of points percentage of the top of the Pacific. This is a tough test for them, and you only get a few during the regular season, really. And I'm looking forward to it, because the Wild are a formidable team, and they're pretty strong everywhere. It's going to be. I know they've had some injuries, and I know that's factor for every NHL team. But the Wild are a team the Oilers have a tough time with. So hopefully they can, test themselves against a club that, it's possible they meet them in the playoffs. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a winning streak going after what has been a pretty substantial, difficult time with the Wild.
100%. It has not been ideal at all for them. The last night, the Frederick Janmark line was actually that was kind of their energy. I know they haven't scored, but you're starting to see signs here lately. Like Frederick's last 4 games, I look and say, okay, at least he's contributing more positively than negatively. The points aren't there, and I get it's not going to live up to the contract, but it's not a black hole of nothing happening when he's on the ice anymore.
Yeah, it's true. And I feel better because I told everybody that once he got healthy, they'd love him. Trent Frederick, when he's playing his game, perfect for Oiler fans. It's aggressive. He's an agitator. He can get other teams off his game. He's physical. He can score goals. We haven't seen that, but that's what he is. And I agree with you. I think that there's fits and starts. There's been games where he kind of looked that way, and then he'd fade again. But the last little while, maybe a little over a week now, Frederick is playing better, and that line is looking, like it might have some, ability to take away some playing time from the other depth line. And I'm glad for it because I think that's a line that you might be able to count on in the playoffs. And those are veteran guys. So it's important that we're a game, whatever it is now, we're approaching game 60. It's important that they get it together. So it's timely. And I agree that that line has played well recently, and it's good to see Frederick kind of rounding into form.
Yeah, well, and that's what I like. The points, maybe they'll come later on. We'll never know. Maybe they won't. But in the case of Trent Frederick, if he could just, give you something that says, hey, maybe in the playoffs, this guy can give you 10, 11 productive minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. And those will be, the idea is that you make it difficult for the opposition. You physically pound the defenseman. Any playoff series, we've seen it over and over again. It's a marathon, and you want to have your forecheckers in, making life difficult for defensemen, taking a piece of them, slowing them down, and then at the end of the game, at the end of the series, maybe that advantage gives you an opportunity to win the series. So I think Frederick is that guy. He just has to get healthy, and there are signs. And I think Janmark has probably had, games where he wasn't 100% either. So it was good to see. And I think that they grabbed some minutes from other lines last night, which was good.
Al, quickly looking around the NHL, the Toronto Maple Leafs. What do you think Treliving's going to do? Because at this stage, he has to ensure his team finishes in the bottom 3 to guarantee that he holds on to his pick, which is top 5 protected.
Well, it's funny because I agree with you, but that market is like, they consider themselves to be, the center of the hockey universe. So I don't know that there's an appetite for ownership to do it, but this would be a great, they made a mistake. They got rid of Marner. Marner wasn't the difference, but they didn't replace him with enough skill. And they Carlo has been a little slower, maybe, in terms of foot speed. They didn't have enough puck movers on defense. They made some tactical errors last summer. So this would be a time to take advantage of it. The Colorado Avalanche were trying to contend, and then they were terrible, and they ended up getting Cale Makar. So the trading off some pieces, and McMahon's the guy who gets mentioned a lot for Edmonton, but trading off pieces right now in order to ensure that you end up with a lottery pick, I think that's brilliant. I don't know if the management or the market would have the appetite for that. I know
they have to, Al. They're out of it. They're 10 points out of the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. Let's call a spade a spade. That train has left. They missed it. Their ticket expired. They're not making the playoffs. That's 100% fact.
But who are they going to trade? How far up the depth chart do they trade?
Well, at this point, you know what? I would look at almost anything if I'm Toronto. Right? And here's the thing. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs have to take a long, hard look at trading Austin Matthews and getting something valuable in return.
Wow, that would be huge. You could get a ton for him. You could. And But that's a summer trade, do you think?
Yeah, that's more of a summer trade for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the Matthews, American superstar, any American market would go absolutely like out of their mind giving up a lot for him. So that's actually a really good idea. Now, here, I got a question for you. I think it's a great idea. Would you trust Tree Living to be the guy to make that trade?
That's a very valid point when you consider the return he got. Well, remember he swung big on Tkachuk, and a lot of people are like, "Yeah, that wasn't great. The return you got, you went out and got a guy who was never going to live up to the 115 points that he had ever."
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So that, I think you have to be realistic, and also Austin Matthews, even now, will have way more trade market value than Matthew Tkachuk had at that time when he was traded.
I agree. I think Matthews is, like, in terms of a trading piece, like if they were going to do it, this would be the time, because he's, he's a great player. The team is garbage. They're not garbage, but they're not going to make the playoffs. But he's a great player, and he's like, it doesn't matter what market he goes to. Like, there are like the Rangers. God, they need some kind of miracle turnaround to give their fans something to hold on to. The Kings, I mean, all the big markets would be after him for sure. And he's a heck of a player too. He could put a team over the top, Colorado, Minnesota, whoever. That's actually kind of exciting for Leafs fans, but I wonder who the GM, they fire Dubas, they bring in Tree Living. I wonder who they would trust. That would have to be the off season comes, you make a move in the GM department, and then you make that your showcase trade. You could get the sun, the moon, and the stars for Matthews, though. What about Dallas?
Yeah. Dallas is pretty old. That's their problem, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And I get Nylander's signed long term. That's the difference between, now some would say, Gregor, you got to keep both of them. And I could argue that too. But if you keep both of them, you've got Matthew Nyes. Okay. You've got John Tavares on a good contract. Max Domi, they could probably easily trade, right?
Yeah.
Mateus Michelli, he's only on a 1-year deal. He's not coming back at 3.4. There's no chance they're going to qualify him. So he would be gone. And, maybe they just keep their powder dry and they try to retool. But, their goaltenders didn't live up to how good they were. And, the one team, you have to look at a team that says, okay, what could you give us in return? Because you're not going to get a player of equal value of Matthews. You want to try to find a few. And maybe they wouldn't do it. The only reason I say Matthews is because I don't think Toronto has the ingredients of a winner. And I think Austin Matthews, here's the truth. I remember a player telling me once, he goes, I thought I was working hard at the NHL level until I went to this team and saw how hard those guys worked. And I've been told by a few players that have been in both organizations, the superstars in Edmonton just frankly work harder off the ice than the superstars in Toronto. That's not a shock, right? Like, the best players usually are the hardest workers. I don't care what sport we're talking about. I don't care, what realm you're in. You're in ditch digging, you're in the oil field. The people that are the grinders, they usually have more success. Okay, that's just how it is. And so and it's not because they're not working hard, but they're not at the level that they need to be at. And I'm not sure they can get there together.
Yeah, and it's already splintered. You've already, Marner's gone. Matthew's not 23 or anything like that, right? Mm-hmm. So you could, I think, legitimately, and this is, kind of mind-blowing because I hadn't thought about it, but I think you could really start the ball rolling on a major reset if you were to trade Matthews now. He would be the biggest news over the summer. You get a lot for him. And then in Toronto, you'd obviously have to, reset again. But it's kind of an to me, it makes the Maple Leafs more interesting than they are now. Now it's like the bloom is off the rose, and how bad is it going to get? You go into the summertime, you replace the GM, you deal Matthews for, as you say, you're not going to get the equal player, but you're going to get young players or picks or whatever, and you're going to reset a little bit. I think they could use that because it's, they got some old guys too, right? They need to get some guys Nye's age or younger who can help them move forward. Because I think their Stanley Cup window is closed, honestly, and I don't know how you get that back. They They really wasted last summer. They didn't bring in enough skill, so now they got to add skill if they're going to compete next year. But maybe you can reload as opposed to rebuild.
Al, have a great weekend. We will chat with you on Monday.
All right, sounds good.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide. Quick break. We'll return. Livingston joins us in the more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you? Who, me? No way. I swear. Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get 3 large specialty pizzas for only $54.99. Perfect for game night. Use promo code 3LG at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a fantastic Friday. today as a race report. A little bit one day later than normal, but we'll still get in, as always, brought to you by Cantork. And Cantork is part of the Stollery No Bounds Week, where they're helping encourage people to wear purple on February 3rd, turn custom house lighting to purple, city lighting the high-level bridge. As the Stollery, they're looking to build a standalone building, and it's going to take a lot of fundraising, looking to raise $1 billion, $1 billion. And you can do your part, wear purple, make a donation and more. And Colin Livingston joins us in studio now. CL, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm good on a Friday. So quickly give me the connection with the story.
So, for the first time, I actually have a positive addition to a positive Friday. This is kind of cool. How do you say $1 billion without sounding like Austin Powers? Like $1 billion. Friends of ours, Heather Stuka, found out recently that she was on the organizing committee, the fundraising committee for this, I guess my word would be very ambitious project, a very, very, very awesome project. I don't think there are a lot of people in the city that don't have some connection at one point or another to a friend or a family member that ends up at the Stollery or somewhere similar. So, really, really easy to jump on board and do the little bit that we can to help make sure people know that the project is happening and if possible to give what they can.
Yeah, for sure. So you can obviously check out the Stollery website for more information. Let's quickly give me your thoughts. You were down at the Shores event last week. How'd it go?
Oh man, we had a blast. I didn't know what to expect. Like we had a VIP package. We paid for it. Nothing was given away. We wanted to be there. It was finally cool to meet TR face to face. He was really cool. But the guy that blew me away was Jared Kiso. Like as we were getting ready, there was kind of a meet and greet before the event. And I was expecting that, based on the number of people they had to cycle through, it was going to be like, hey, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. He started asking questions and I was like, no, you got other things to do. And I said something to Terry and I almost blew him off, but he was just so unbelievably nice and like outgoing. I wasn't expecting it. And I told Terry afterwards, like, I think I have to apologize because I kind of feel like, and I wasn't trying to be, but I felt like I was a little bit rude because these guys were just so nice and so engaging. We were talking a little bit during the break that, these guys stuck around until the staff at the Rogers Place told them like, listen, this is as far as we can go. You have to leave. Like they were signing everything. I mean, it was probably 45 minutes, if not an hour after the event was done. But, for the first time, I feel like I was on par with Struddy because he sat there watching as much hockey as I did. I didn't, he got his shootout goal, but other than that, he seemed to stand around and watch a lot of guys play.
Oh, I know. We're never going to hear the end of a shootout goal. God, I blame TR for that one. Throw a stick, do something to try to disrupt it, because now we'll never hear the end of it. Let's get to some racing story. Alex Palou won his case against McLaren in court.
Yep.
What does that mean?
He was deemed to have not done anything wrong, that the contract was not violated, et cetera, et cetera. However, he has to pay $12 million to McLaren for damages.
So they say he won, but how do you win by paying $12 million? What was he supposed to pay if he lost?
I know that this will likely be reduced on appeal.
Okay.
But the being able to prove damages when Palou didn't join the team, Oscar Piastri was in that seat. They've won 2 constructors championships and now a drivers championship. It's pretty hard to show that, you were put out by that, but this is just a game at this point. For Palou, if he has to pay out of pocket, that'd be very significant. But for a team like McLaren, this is just, about flexing who's got the biggest flex and who's got the biggest ego.
Now, in a case of when someone gets fired, this might look like, well, we fired people to appease them just for a short time. So anybody who doesn't follow it, so the former president at Team Penske, Tim Cindric. He was fired last year during the Penske cheating scandals.
Correct.
Got fired last year.
Yep.
Now he's returning to be a strategist at Team Penske on the number 3 car of Scott McLaughlin. Like, how is this allowed?
Well, he wasn't fired by the league. He wasn't. He was fired by that team in his capacity. So he still had, he was transitioning out of that role as president anyway. He only wanted to do kind of trackside stuff. But because he was so heavily connected with all the people, there was another guy, Ron Rzuski, and I can't remember the third guy that was fired off the top of my head. Candidly speaking, he is so good as a strategist. They would be crazy if they didn't, bring him back to run on like, you wouldn't want to run against him as a strategist. So I think without any executive role and without any other official duties besides running the strategy for Scott McLaughlin, I don't think there's a lot of controversy. It's just another thing that Penske's doing that just doesn't seem to look right on the surface.
Yeah, doesn't look good at all. Now, IndyCar, they announced another race.
This one bugs me because today, this morning, by executive order, Trump announced that there's going to be an IndyCar race in Washington this year, with Mr. Penske standing behind the president. I'm trying not to use the words that are in my head right now, but like, cool that there's going to be another race. Great that there's another municipality, but like the fact that they're trying to tie this into the presidency really bothers me.
Yeah, well, yeah, like executive order. It just seemed, I was like, am I missing something here?
Yeah, they're making it seem like the president decided single-handedly that there was going to be an IndyCar race, and they might not be far off because recently he posted an AI video of him in Marine One, the helicopter, with an eagle kind of flying by him as he was giving a thumbs up watching IndyCars run around the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
When IndyCar posted the race information today, there's no track layout, there's no other information. Then it's going to be August 21st.
So it's going to be a street
to 23rd.
course? It has to be.
Has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty proud as a Canadian, and anything to do with that guy just drives me crazy.
Is this like an extra added race to the schedule?
Yep. Yeah, it'll be a regular race. It's being added to this calendar year.
Because it wasn't originally slated, right? So, they get another. Now, how does that work though from the drivers and everything else? Like, is it just, okay, all of a sudden now we know we have, instead of having 20 races, now we have 21?
Yep.
Just that simple, nothing
and
changes.
They'll have to find hotels and they'll have to arrange transport. There's going to be obviously extra expense for the drivers and teams and crew, and they'll just have to figure it out. But, I didn't see a promoter listed. I didn't see a track layout. So to try and put a race like this together
in this short period of time, I know it doesn't seem like people are like, oh, it's August, Gregor. Well, it takes a lot of
to line up sponsors, to line up, to get all the equipment, the bleachers, figuring out the track layout. How do you get people in? How do you get people out? How do you get the haulers in and out? Like it's a big thing.
Like I look at F1 in Vegas and I've talked to people that go to F1 races and it's been there a few years and they're like, it's still terrible.
Yeah. It takes knowing what they know now. That was the third year or second year this year, but it still takes them like 6 months to get everything, like to put all the walls up, to put, to get everything put together. It's a massive thing. So, I hope it works well for the series is all I can say.
Matt Taskinen, of course, the Road Tax Winter Trophy event is going on right now in Houston, Texas. Now, he won this last year, did he not, in DD2 or DD3?
DD2, yeah. He won the event. Got his ticket to the grand finals in Bahrain. This year, the grand finals will be held back in Portimao. We were there a few years ago. The event has already been chaotic. They were supposed to run 2 events last weekend on Saturday, Sunday. They got the
cold weather.
cold weather.
Snow and
it
ice in Texas.
snowed in Houston, and there was ice, and without making the jokes, they're just not prepared for it. Like
No,
they don't have
we wouldn't be.
tires. Their roads aren't designed to get that cold. Like it's
a disaster.
And you can't race in that. Like so they pushed everything. Round 2 was held today. Matthew finished second in the final, third in the pre-final.
What's the pre-final? It's just like leading up to
semi-final.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's having a good run. They figured something out with the cart from last weekend to this weekend. He's getting better every session now. So, there's still half the events left to go tomorrow and Sunday. Our other local driver, Noel Dowler, is running in Master Max. He's had an up and down weekend. He's been quick all week. Got caught up in something this morning, finished 7th, but then was penalized, dropped to 9th, started 9th and finished 4th in the final. So had a great run. And they're making us proud.
So for Taskinen on the, what does he have to? Does he just have to finish in the top 3? What do you have to do to qualify?
I've got to take a look at the overall standings, because you get points for where you qualify, where you finish in the pre-final and the final. So it's up and down.
But you don't have to be the top point getter, right? It's more than one that qualifies.
You've got to be the top guy at the end of the weekend.
Only one.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, one guy gets the ticket. So this is really the first chance, and it's nice, to get if you can get the ticket out of the way in January instead of having to fight through the year. Like, some of these guys last year last year was in Florida. They did events in the Eastern event, which was like Ontario, Quebec. Then there was an Ontario only event that they ran in. They came out to the West. And some of the guys did, 4 of these big events and never got a ticket. So yeah, it's a big relief to know in the beginning of the year that you're going to be going and you can relax the rest of the season. But apparently I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I was talking to John, Matthew's dad, this morning. They were broken into. Matthew's he lost some personal stuff, lost his passport. So they've got a little extra motivation to turn the weekend around and have some smiles.
Well, hopefully you finish in the top. That's when hey, it's like the Olympics, man. It's gold or bust. Gold or bust is basically what it sounds like.
Did you see Lindsey Vonn? That breaks my heart. She come back from the worst injuries.
She crashed today?
She crashed today. And they're not sure if she's going to make it or not make it. But she's been winning events.
I know,
like
she's been unreal. Yeah.
Like one of the greatest sports stories in a long, long time. And then, they're a week before they start the Olympics or something like that. And to have that.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The opening ceremonies are next Friday.
Yeah.
For the Olympics.
So hopefully it's not as bad as what it looked.
Yeah. All right. Okay, once again, for all of those who want to help out the Stollery No Bounds Week, they're looking to raise $1 billion. Obviously not in 1 week, but it's kind of the kickoff to help building that new standalone facility. It's the most specialized children's hospital in Western Canada, but the only one of its kind is a standalone space built for just kids. As you know what, they're going to have advancing life-changing research innovation at the Stollery. And so it goes from the 28th of January until February 4th. So check it out. You can learn more at Stollery.
Of course, if you got $1 billion laying around that you don't know what to do, it would really make things a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, just get your couch cushions, buddy. Just lift one of them up.
Oh, maybe that's why the couch is so heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Go check it out. Let us know. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Where? If you're looking for great vehicles, they got some 26s, but they got lots of 25s at fantastic prices. So check it out, northgategm.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Elks have released Canadian quarterback Trey Ford. Ford was originally selected by the team 8th overall back in 2022, appearing in 60 games with the organization. He is now free to sign with any team in the NHL. One game tonight, Blue Jackets in Chicago. Puck drop 6:30 in the association. Got the Raptors in Orlando at 5:30. Also, Cavs meeting the Suns. Nuggets host the Clippers, and the Warriors up against the Pelicans in the WHL. Oil Kings in Moose Jaw taking on the Warriors just after 6. ECHL, Saints in Cranbrook, while the Crusaders host Black Falls. Both games starting at 7 o'clock. And in the AJ, 5 games, including GP up against Camrose, Canmore hosting Devon, and Olds in Drayton Valley, Can West. Golden Bears hockey in Winnipeg tonight and tomorrow. The Pandas will host Manitoba tonight and tomorrow down at the Drake. The McEwen men's team taking on UBC out in Vancouver, while the women will host the Thunderbirds at the DCA. And from the NFL, Minnesota Vikings firing general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, while the Ravens hiring former Bears OC Declan Doyle as their new offensive coordinator. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, ask 5 questions, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on CSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. Not Alone Code.
We continue on.
It's okay to not be okay.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At No Bull RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know, now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from Noble RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 67 Camp Ready plans are available at No Bull right now.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Courses of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis of post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Don, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely day. And man, how about the Joker? Djokovic dominates Sinner and moves on to the final at the Australian Open. And we'll see. Can he get that be his 25th? I think it would be his 25th major. Wild stuff. So that guy is pretty good. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always text us in our inbox. Email us, Gregor, sports1440.ca. The Gregor Show always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where lottery, instance, live dealer, casino, all in one spot. But remember, if you want to partake, use your game sense, GameSenseAB.ca. Always good to stay within your limits. A light night in the National Hockey League. Only one game as the Blue Jackets trying to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. They are on the road taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. And then tomorrow, a bevy of games, 14, which include the Oilers and the Wild as the late game tomorrow night. Oilers had the day off today after that thrilling come from behind victory. They got down 2-0, a minute 35 into the game. Then it was 3-0 after 1, 3-0 after 2, and you thought it was good night, Irene. But the Oilers find a way to come back, and it was comeback city last night in the NHL. Carolina was down 4-2 in the final 2 minutes, scored 3 goals to win in regulation. Vegas was trailing 4-1 in the third. They managed to push it to a shootout, lost in the shootout, which is what they do this year. They got 14 overtime/shootout losses, but they get a point. Them and the Oilers are tied for first in the Pacific Division with 64 points, 5 up on Seattle, 5 up on Anaheim, and 6 up on the Sharks, 7 up on the Kings, man. Very quietly. I think Kings going to have to get going here. They're in a dogfight with Anaheim, San Jose, and even Utah really for a wild card spot. But the Oilers, they are opportunity here to maybe move on and win again, 4 in a row. But Minnesota is a team that kind of beats them for fun a little bit as we welcome in Wanye Gretz to the show. Wanye, how you doing?
What a game. What a game last night. Were you feeling it? I was feeling it.
I wasn't watching the third period come back live. I was coaching, so I watched it later on when I got home.
Oh, I was watching it and I said, we got to stick around till the end because you never know with these Oilers.
True, but let's be honest. Like it was a great comeback, no doubt. They're never out of it, but like the Oilers at some point need a little bit more consistency in their game right now. It's like that's an awful start. Like 2 minutes in and you got giveaway, like some terrible giveaways. Like on the first goal, it's your top line, you're on home ice and you have 3 giveaways that lead directly to a goal. Like it's just, that's not good. The Emberson one, like you can't really have that giveaway. You're not really pressured that much. It doesn't matter where you give the puck away in the neutral zone, leads directly to a breakaway. Third goal was unlucky. Ingram makes a save, rebound, hits Bouchard in the pants and goes in. Not going to complain too much about that one, but hey, they got the win. And at this point, it's a win is better than a loss. And they finally got 3 wins in a row. I don't think anyone got injured in the game. So that's a positive for the Oilers. And I really think the Oilers, like a lot of teams, they're probably slogging it out here to get to the end. They got 3 games now, but they're not tired. Like they haven't played back-to-back at all. They haven't traveled now in a week. Fatigue should not be a factor for them. So you play tomorrow, then you get another 2 days off. And then you got the struggling Maple Leafs coming to town. And then you're in Calgary. So you still have a very good chance here to win 2 out of 3. I'm not going to sit here and say they'll win 3 in a row because that means they suddenly win 6 in a row. So, not going to talk in that regard. But finding a way to win 2 out of 3 would be good for him.
How does it work with the Olympic team? Like Evan Bouchard being this hot, when would he need to be added? Or is the window closed?
Well, the only way he can be added is if they have a defenseman injured.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's basically you got till Thursday night. And that's the thing. Like a guy could get injured as late as Thursday night because that's when the NHL wraps up. And if somebody gets injured then, like right now, Braden Point, we don't know if he's playing. Brad Marchand got injured last night for Florida. He's getting reevaluated today. So, all it takes is one injury, but that's the only way the guy like Bouchard will go.
And with Braden Point not knowing if he's in or out, when would they need to call in a replacement?
I would assume being respectful of the players. Now, I know any player out there is going to say, hey, you want to call me Friday morning? I will cancel my trip. I'm assuming any player who was on the short list probably got travel insurance on their trip. And if they have to change it, then they'll change it, right? And then they would gladly jump on a plane. Because I know I talked to McDavid about it. Like they have a team flight that you could go on. It doesn't sound like that many guys are going early. Connor wasn't sure when he was going to go in yet. He might go directly from here. Otherwise, he could go to New York and Toronto and jump on the plane there with the team. But he's like, wow, I could just kind of fly from here anyway. So we'll see when they're leaving. But some are leaving on the 7th, some are leaving on the 6th. I know some American players, because their seasons, they're over on Wednesday. They're going a little earlier because they want to go in the opening ceremonies, right? Like it is a unique experience. So if you wanted to take part in the opening ceremonies, then a guy like McDavid, if he wanted, could just leave Thursday to get there in time for Friday's opening ceremony.
And has the stadium sorted itself out? Or are they going to be walking in the paint still wet? And
yeah, last I heard, they've been playing lots of warm-up games on it. So now I don't know. I think you might have some seating area, but as far as the game itself, like they'll have had basically almost a month worth of games played, so the ice settles, and they've got ice experts in there, looking at it every day. And I think when it's all said and done, it'll be like a lot of the other Olympics. There was a lot of hubbubaloo, and oh my God, it's a month out and it looks terrible. And then you get there and guess what? It's ready to go.
I wonder if it's almost PR. Like if you want to get guys talking, you don't say, hey, the Olympics are in Italy. You say, look, it's not done yet. And all the construction guys come and say,
yeah, I don't know what PR it is. Like, who benefits from that? Like, I don't think Italians need the PR in Canada. Like, I don't think there's really any benefit to that.
Well, that was the beginning of the PR cycle for the Olympics, though. First thing I heard was the stadium's got a tiny little scoreboard.
Yeah,
what do you make of that scoreboard?
Oh, who cares? Like,
no?
Yes, like we have become so soft and entitled into what we need to enjoy sports. It's embarrassing, frankly. Right? Like, I grew up watching on a black and white TV. That was fine. Right? Like you don't need, these massive, watch the game, get off your phone. Right? Like I was watching a highlight last night of a game-winning goal, and you had the people, they're not even watching the celebration. They're trying to video their friends. I'm like, what? Who are you ever showing that video to? It's not like it's a playoff game. You're not in game 7. Like we become so like, I got to video it. To show who? No one cares. Like if one of my friends, oh yeah, look at me here. I'm in row 2. Look, and it's like some grainy camera. It's not even, I'm like, what? Like, it's awful. The amount of stuff that people video to think and then miss the moment. They're not up and cheering. They're sitting down on their phone. Like, God, that'd be the worst. Like, I just think so. No, to me, the scoreboard's irrelevant. I haven't even thought about it. I wouldn't care about it. If I was at the Olympics, I'd be watching the game and be like, oh my God, we're in the Olympics. This is great. That's all that would matter.
The Rogers Place scoreboard cost more than Rexall Place. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. Not inflation adjusted, but yeah.
No.
So by that logic, the next arena is going to have a scoreboard that costs $600 million, and I would like to see it.
Well, hopefully the rink lasts a little bit longer than that, and the price hasn't gone up that much at that time. So we shall see what would ticket prices be then. My God, we gotta amputate a finger every time. So we'll see. Getting a little bit pricey right now for a lot of people. So we'll see. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. The 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Of course, Cam, longtime journalist in town, got cerebral palsy. Has never let him slow him down. And through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. On Fridays, Tater likes me to read his 2-minute warning. So, Cons, cue the music. This is Cam's words once again. Gregor, strap yourself in. Bolt that chair to the floor. Maybe call Wanye Gretz over if he's hanging around that broadcasting palace to keep you steady. Heck, lower your chair while you're at it. I'm about to blow a gasket and you might just topple over. The Edmonton Elks releasing Trey Ford. Are you kidding me? This isn't just a bad call. It's a full-blown catastrophe. Let's get one thing straight. I like Ford a lot. And if my memory serves you right, your son Beckett once told you he enjoyed an Elks game because of Ford's electrifying play. Do I have that right? Yeah, he did. The Elks sucked, and he's like, why don't they put Ford in? So that is actually true. Entertaining, that's the word. Let's ride it for a moment. Back in the 80s, an Oilers marketing guru told me something that stuck. The Oilers were in the entertainment business first. And Ford, he was entertainment. He was excitement. He was hope. Then there's Chris Jones, Mr. Happy himself, the former Elks coach who, if there's any justice in the world, is now coaching a U13 somewhere. Good for him, bad for the kids. Jones never gave Ford a fair shot. It's been well documented. As the great Bill Hunter used to say, if you don't believe me, then you're a liar. Ford's a Canadian, for crying out loud. How many teams would kill for a Canadian quarterback? Can you say marketing goldmine? But no, Jones couldn't see it or wouldn't. And now the Elks have fumbled big time. I know I'm in the minority here today. Today's 2-minute warning poll says 63% of fans think Ford isn't a starting quarterback, plain and simple. But 30%, we know better. We see the potential. We see the spark. So, Gregor, are you with the 63% who are content to let talent slip through our fingers? Or are you ready to stand with the 37% who know what Trey Ford deserved? And he deserved better. Because I'll argue this all day at the new Sarepta Diner on Century Street. You know, bring it on from Cam Take. Well, I knew this was coming, so I'm not shocked, right? This is 3 months. The minute Trey Ford didn't get in late in the season, I said Trey Ford is done as a member of the organization. Now, there's a few things at play here. Could they have renegotiated a contract? Then it might have worked. But I think the organization and Trey Ford kind of mutually felt like, guess what? We're going to part ways here. I do believe, and I think Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, we can go down the list of quarterbacks, and I can go through Canadian CFL quarterbacks as well. I can go through CFL coaches. Remember how many people thought Jason Moss was a terrible coach? How's that working out? I think Trey Ford can be an electrifying quarterback. I think he needs to work on his game a little bit. And I do believe he needs a quarterback developer. And I don't believe that the Elks offensive coordinator is that. And that's not everybody. You're not all going to be a great quarterback developer. I don't think that's Maximic's. That's not his bread and butter. That's not his MO. Now, some of you might say, well, that's terrible. Everybody should be able to do it. Well, that's not the case. Not everybody can do it, right? Lots of people can coach. Not everybody can be a great coach in different areas. Some coach for different reasons. So I look at Ford, and I think it's twofold. I felt like they did everything to sabotage his success early on. I would agree with that I think they kind of wasted his development. Last year, he got an opportunity early on. Then they went to Fajardo. They had some success with Fajardo. And, well, entertainment matters. Winning matters more than entertainment. 100%, I think it does. And so when you haven't won and then you bring in a quarterback, and I know that the Elks didn't win enough to get to the playoffs, I understand it, but they won a little bit more. So they went with Fajardo. Do I think Cody Fajardo can lead them to a Grey Cup? If he has a good supporting cast, yes. I don't think he's like the quarterback who runs everything, because at times he's a little hesitant to want to be a gunslinger, and you can't be afraid to throw the odd interception. I think as a quarterback, there's going to be interceptions. They're going to happen. Let it go. It's not going to matter. But Trey Ford, not surprised that they come to this with Edmonton. As I said, actions always speak louder than words, and their actions were that they were going to move on from Trey Ford. I think Trey Ford needs himself to go pick an organization that can help him develop, and then him fully commit to doing everything. Like, you got it when you're the starting quarterback. You got to be first guy in, last guy out of the film room. That's just how it is. And if you don't want to be that guy, then you're not going to be the guy. That's just how it is for quarterbacks, man. Like it or not. That's how it is. You got to know every nuance of the offense. You got to know the responsibility of every guy. That just goes with the position.
Will he end up in the CFL next year?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like there's lots of opportunities to be a backup. It's going to depend on, which team he wants to go to. Would he go to Montreal? The chance of playing now. Hey, Alexander got hurt last year. So, you sometimes can weigh that, but he's got to, I think, strategically pick where he can go. Now, from an injury standpoint, the best place to go would be BC, because they have a starting Canadian quarterback. And if you have a backup Canadian quarterback, well, then you could actually list your quarterback as a Canadian starter if you wanted. Usually you don't, because if he gets hurt in the game, then it screws up a whole, your ratio. But if you have a backup Canadian, well, then you can definitely do it. Now, Nathan Rourke is clearly the starter. He just got a big contract extension. The odds of him playing there would require an injury. So you could go to other teams where you could be like, I could probably play halfway through the year just strictly because our starter isn't a stone cold mortal lock like a Nathan Rourke. Like, Nathan Rourke is not getting pulled in BC for Trey Ford in week 7, right? It's not happening. So that's probably got to be a little bit of his strategy. I'm going to be very interested to see where he goes. Yeah, that's kind of where I see it. Gregor, Trey doesn't have the arm strength to be a pro QB. I disagree with that, Chad. He throws the ball fine. More than fine. I saw him make some decent throws. Not every guy has to. People said Ricky Ray didn't have a good arm. Ricky Ray might not have thrown you the fastest, but he was incredibly accurate. So I think Trey Ford, can he improve? I think where Trey Ford needs to improve is on his touch. Not his arm strength, but his touch as a passer, right? You've got to be able to make the short, easy pass consistently, right? You get the deeper it goes downfield, sometimes you need a receiver to help you out. You're not going to be as accurate all the time. Like Ricky Ray was a little bit of a freak in that regard. But you've got to be, if you can't pass consistently on the crossing patterns and the under-out patterns, then you got a problem. So I wouldn't say it's arm strength at all. I think it's a little bit more accuracy.
Is it Fajardo's team going forward?
Well, he's the starting quarterback right now. But we did have, and if you listen to the interview we had yesterday with Ed Hervey on the show, he is very high on their young backup quarterback, and he believes now, like you said, he goes until you never know. But Cole Schneider, he's pretty high in Cole Schneider. Now we'll see what they've got Zabrowski as well as Fajardo right now that are signed. So I'm assuming they'll probably bring in another quarterback. And maybe it's a guy with a little bit more experience, but I know like Ed was openly frustrated that the coaching staff did not find playing time for Cole Schneider in the last game of the season, which, that's a good learning experience for your head coach. Like, you can't get caught up in winning a game in the last game of the season. Like, I know it might have only been a half, but it's an opportunity. It's a little bit of a carrot for a young guy, but it just gives him something to work on. Now, yeah, he'll get into preseason games, and obviously Fajardo's the starter, no question. But, I think anytime when you have meaningless games, you can make meaningful minutes for young players. And they didn't take advantage of that. So I don't think that was great. Hey, Greg, do you think Draisaitl and McDavid would charter a private jet together to get to Italy from Elvis? I never asked something like that. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what a charter jet costs for two guys to go all the way to Germany. I have no idea. But could they afford it? Probably. I'm assuming if they did that, then Szymanski would join them because he's on Team Germany with Draisaitl, so it wouldn't just be the two.
Don't fly private intercontinentally, kids. You want the safety of a 747. You want the big wings. You want a huge transponder if there's an issue. Sometimes flying in a Challenger jet or something like that, intercontinental, you have awful turbulence.
Right. Well,
that's what I heard.
Okay. Well, that makes total sense. I get it.
Put them in the big bird.
Yeah. Hey guys, do you think it matters that the arena is going to be less capacity than original? Hey, if you've got 11, if the building's full at 11,000 and that's capacity, or I think what was it originally, 13.5 or something like that, close to 14 maybe. Is the game, when you're in a sold out arena, it feels sold out. Like you look around, it's packed. I don't know if as a player on the ice, now 11,000 to 70,000, sure, right? Even maybe 11 to 20. But 11 to 14, is it going to be that noticeable for the players? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to change anything as far as the viewers go. So all it means is there'll be a few less tickets available. That's all. But I don't think that ultimately is going to matter that much.
Why did the arena get smaller?
Well, there's something about maybe some of the facility, that part of it might not be ready.
I see.
Right? So, they probably put curtains up then. But all I know is, now, it's the Olympics. I would assume the games would be sold out. But it is hockey. Now, you know what? I think even in Italy, it's the Olympics. Like I can't remember if every game in the past was sold out. Obviously, every Canadian game was sold out, no question. But is every game? That I can't answer. So maybe 11,000 for some of those, non-marquee games. Maybe that's better. Less chance of having a cavernous building because cavernous is not good.
Other than hockey, there's no Olympic events in that stadium, right?
Oh, no. I'm just pretty sure the figure skating's there.
Oh, the figure skating.
Yeah. So, and would short track be there? No, short track's probably in a different one. So, but figure skating would be there for sure. Let's come back. Craig Button will join us next. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
The Bricks Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more. Get up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Pause of Friday rolls on. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hope you're having a lovely day. Light night in the NHL tonight. Only one game, Chicago and Columbus. The Oilers, of course, back in action tomorrow against the Minnesota Wild as they look to continue this, their best hot streak of the year. They've won 3 in a row. Break out the champagne. But, hey, it could be worse. Could be Toronto. It could be a few other teams. They're out. Like, make no mistake, it's January 30th. The Maple Leafs, they're 10 points back. They're not making the playoffs. And because they've already traded their first-round pick, they need to tank because it's top 5 protected. The last thing they want to do is miss the playoffs and have to give away like a 6 to 10 pick. That would be awful. So it will be the management team has to be like, hey, how can we ensure that we're going to be picking in the top 5? Well, trade away a few players. That would be ideal. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints, exciting BCHL action. The Saints, hey, they've been on the road for a bit, but they're back home next weekend. So get your tickets, sgsaints.ca. As Craig Button from TSN joins us, former NHL scout and GM, Stanley Cup winner, joins us. And Craig, as a GM, like sometimes the season doesn't go the way you want, right? Sometimes maybe it surprises you and goes better than you think. But in that chair, you've got to adapt and change on the fly. And right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they probably have to adjust what they thought their path was going to be 4 months ago and go a different route now at the trade deadline.
Yeah, Jason, I call it a reality check. And you cannot look at your team as you thought it was going to be, not as you hoped it would be. You got to look at it as clearly as it is. And right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are a non-playoff team. Forget about being a contender. They're not a contender. And much like, and I keep using this comparison, much like the Boston Bruins last year at this time, they looked at their team and they said, we're not good enough we're not a contender. We might make the playoffs, but what does that mean? And for us to move forward, we're going to have to look at doing things and changing things. Yeah. And they did. They weren't looking to trade Brandon Carlo, but they opened up their mind to everything. They opened up their mind and saying, hey, if there's some interest out there, we'll listen. And that's exactly what ended up happening. And, you know, Toronto, who is in a very different place, they said, hey, listen, we think we're a contender. And I don't think anybody at this time last year would have said that Toronto was foolish to think they were a contender. They were a good team. But, you know, Boston recognizes we need something different. We're going to open up our minds. They did. And I think that's what Toronto's got to do this year. They got to do what Boston did last year at this time. They got to see their team as it is, not very good, and make sure they don't end up in the spot last year. I will say one more thing too, Jason.
Yeah.
I think where the Toronto Maple Leafs find themselves too, they should be open to getting rid of everybody and make sure that they have a top 5 pick, because that top 5 pick is protected. If it's a 6th pick or a 7th pick or an 8th pick, the Boston Bruins are going to be laughing a long, long time.
Oh God, yes, no, 100%. I know they're getting William Nylander back for their game tomorrow against Vancouver, and well, that's great, but that really kind of goes counter, Craig, to what the organization needs to do now. They don't need wins. Wins won't help them, because I'm sorry, you're not making up 10 points on 8 teams. Right? It's just like, I look at Buffalo. I did the math on Buffalo. Buffalo is the hottest team in the NHL. The last 24 games, they won 20, lost 3, 1 overtime loss. They got 41 points. They still only gained 6 points on Boston and Montreal, 7 points on Montreal, 6 on Detroit. You know, like, so you think you're going to catch 10 points on that many teams? Like, it's just not realistic.
You're exactly right. And back to reality check, right? So you go and do that math, and there it is, staring you right in the face. It's not opinion. There's the math. There's the reality for you, staring you right in the face. And so now you have to look at it and go, okay, we better act accordingly. And acting accordingly means that you got to open it up. You got to just say, hey, we might not be looking to trade this player or not to, but we're going to listen. And that's what happened with Brandon Carlo. And then they found a team that was really eager to make a trade, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I mean, he was in addition with the cap space, the type of defenseman he was. You go, oh, that's a good move. And what Boston was trying to do, good move. But and you just think about, like, stop and think about this for a second. The Buffalo Sabres, and think about their blue line: Dahlin, Samuelson, Bowen Byram, and Owen Power. What Toronto Maple Leaf defenseman could unseat any of those guys from the top pair?
Yeah.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
Not one. So, you know, not only are you not Buffalo, you're not even close to Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like the Brandon Carlo trade, man, it really hasn't worked out. Not only is it a first round out, they also gave up Fraser Minten, Craig. And look at what Fraser Minten's doing in Boston right now.
Well, again, give the Boston Bruins credit for looking. But that's what happens when you open up your mind, and when you open up your when I say your mind, when you open it up, you say, hey, listen, we're not looking to trade Brandon Carlo, but like what would your team's phone? And they go, well, would you trade Brandon Carlo? Well, what are you thinking about doing? Well, would you consider trading Fraser Mitten? And because Toronto found themselves in a very different place, they were prepared to trade the future for the now. The now never happened. I don't fault Toronto for going and saying we need this type of defenseman and we're gonna be bold about it. But again, you now. Was there a different way to do it? I mean, how about the shrewd move by Boston, by Don Sweeney, to say, you know what, it's not top 10 protected. We'll take a first, but you can protect it for the top 5. I mean, that's a pretty shrewd move by Don Sweeney. Let me tell you this. They got a 4th-round pick, and they got a Czech defenseman that's playing in Sweden. He was around their Czech team at the World Junior Tournament. He's a 6'4.5" defenseman that can really skate. They might have made out like real bandits if this becomes like a 6th pick, 7th pick in the first round. They get Fraser Mitten, and this kid turns out. It might turn out to be one of the great trades for the Boston Bruins, and they've made some great trades in their history. This might be one of those ones that turns out just fantastic.
Craig, every good team in the NHL has a weakness. Whether or not it gets exploited, that remains to be seen, and then some fix it. I look at Colorado, and I've said it. The one weakness I felt they had was their defense overall. I thought was too small, and I know that's not the only reason that they've hit a little bit of a speed bump here. But they're giving up a ton. If you look at shots and scoring chances lately for that team, that's got to be priority number 1 for them. They've got to get a little bit bigger on their back end.
I agree. Think about what happened. When they went and won the Stanley Cup. They made a trade for Josh Manson. That was a big move. Not only did Josh Manson come in, but it pushed Eric Johnson now to your bottom pair, and that really helped because now Eric at that point in time was a little bit extended in terms of what he could handle, and Josh came in and really helped that out. Josh helped Sam Girard. I mean, Sam Girard got hurt in the Stanley Cup run, but now those players have a little bit of size around them, and with that size, you get a little bit more space than everybody coming at you. You're now able to play a heavier game, a harder game. When you're smaller, and the playoffs 2 months, it's not about how fast you can skate. You have to have a measure of balance within your size and your skating and your skill. And I totally agree with you. Here's the good news for the Colorado Avalanche. You find out now what your area of weakness is, where you got to focus in on it. They're far and away in terms of points ahead of everybody. The Olympic break's coming up. Everybody gets rejuvenated. And that will help Chris McFarland and his management group identify who can come in there and help their team. So, for an example, like, would Brandon Carlo be a good fit with the Colorado Avalanche? That type of a defenseman, here we are talking a year later, I think would be a nice fit for the Colorado Avalanche. And to me, Toronto's got to be open-minded about Brandon Carlo, just like they were open-minded, just like Boston was. Jake McCabe, he's a good, solid player. That's another guy. Like, I'm opening it up and saying, what are you prepared to give us? They're slim in the prospect pool. They're almost zero in the pick pool. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, if they want to stay in this spot for a lot of years, and I'm talking about dark years, don't do anything.
Greg Button from TSN joins us. Greg, you look at a few other teams, chasing Artemi Panarin, right? Obviously, he's sat out now 2 games for the Rangers and might sit out all the way till the Olympic break. I would assume he'd get traded beforehand because once the Olympic break freeze comes on, then he can't get traded. San Jose's been rumored, the Anaheim Ducks, the Los Angeles Kings. I actually think the Islanders would make a perfect fit for him. Do you see any other teams that are realistic that they could not only get him for now, but might be, willing to go long-term with a guy like Panarin? And would you have any reservations about going long-term with Panarin?
Well, I mean, I guess when you're talking about a 34-year-old player, what does long-term mean? I mean, like, he's been a really good player for the New York Rangers. He's been over a point a game through his entirety with the New York Rangers, performed exceptionally well. Even this year, he still remains our leading scorer. So, am I giving him a 7-year deal? Not a chance. Would I give him a 3-year deal? Absolutely. Do you have to give him 4 to get to where you can get to the sweet spot? But 4 would be a stretch for me. And I'll give you an example. Jonathan Marchessault. Do you think the Nashville Predators are happy about giving him 5? Las Vegas was ready to give him 4, and he goes, I need 5. Well, he got 5. I don't want that.
Yeah. No. Well, that's true. So I'm intrigued. You always hear stories. I don't know how many of the stories are true, how many of them are not true, but you kind of the Panarin, like the whole Ranger team, man. Like it's Chris Drury here. Like, come on, you had a good team, and in literally a span of 2 years, they become nothing.
Well, think about that. And, Chris has been there since 2015 with the organization. So this isn't somebody new coming in. He took the reins over. It was they went to the conference final. They won the President's Trophy. I mean, yeah, they had a fallback last year. He brings in Mike Sullivan and new coaching staff, and Mike's a hell of a coach. We know that. But I think it started long before. And I hear the word culture gets thrown around loosely without people understanding what culture is. You go and you sign Barclay Goodrow. Chris Drury went after Barclay Goodrow. Stanley Cup champion, digs in, plays hard. And they fell short. And Barclay was one of their good players, in that conference final. But they fell short. And all of a sudden, we got to trade Barclay Goodrow. And Barclay had protection.
Yeah.
But then they put him on waivers, right? So now you're treating Barclay Goodrow like that. Then you take your captain and you dangle him out there. Jacob Trouba, all he does is play hard. Great person. Then you take Chris Kreider, a long-serving member of the New York Rangers. Great guy, works hard, dug in, represented the Rangers well. What do you think every other person in that organization is thinking? Chris Drury has treated people like crap. And if you start treating your key players, your leaders, people that have given everything you want, and you expect like people to just blindly follow you in return and say, hey, I'm all in for you, you're kidding yourself. Chris Drury has screwed this up big time.
Yeah. And there's no quick fix there either. Right? Like you're losing.
I don't think there is.
Yeah. It's not like, I know the Rangers, hey, you know what? Lots of people want to come to New York. Which people though? Because there's no big free agents. The biggest free agent might be the guy you have, and he doesn't, and you're not signing him. So who are you getting? Like there's no real big free agents left in the market.
Yeah, and who controls the whole thing? Who controls the entire process right now? Artemi Panarin. Why does Artemi Panarin control the process? You haven't worked with him. I mean, now the agent is saying, hey, listen, we'll go somewhere because he's got full protection. He goes, we'll go somewhere if we get an extension. Teams are going, well, geez, we'd like Artemi Panarin. We'd like to have him, with respect to him coming in and helping us, and we'd wait to the end of the year and let him be a free agent. But, he's dictating if he gets an extension where he might go. I mean, what happens if Artemi Panarin goes, no, I'm not going anywhere? Now what are you going to do? You can't put him on waivers. You can keep sitting him out. That's great. Artemi Panarin will be signed this summer, but you've lost control of the process. Whose fault is that? Jason, I'm very clear on this. I've been clear on this from day one. Everything starts at the top.
Yes.
You start right there. It never starts in the middle. You go to ownership and you go to management. They're responsible and they're accountable. There's no other place to look. This is on Chris Drury's plate.
Yeah.
And and not only has it been a mess, not only has the thin book on human relations been taken out, it has been a scenario now where you talk about how do they move forward? Wow. Because who wants to come and play in that environment?
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. One last one for you. The Vancouver Canucks. Their rebuild has started. How deep would you go in Vancouver? Like, I know somebody, hey, nobody's off the books. And obviously I look at their, like, I'm not sure Elias Pettersson, but you can't just give them away either, right? Like, you're in a rebuild. You can't just give away, you got to be astute in how you do it. Do you not?
Yes, you nailed. That's a great word. You have to be astute. I mean, what I talked about earlier about opening up your mind to, okay, listen, and Jim Rutherford made the comment. He said, hey, listen, we're open for business. We'll listen to all on all our players. And I think that's the right approach. So, somebody says, hey, listen, what would it take for us to get Elias Pettersson? I mean, the Vancouver Canucks have a good idea not a good idea. They know what they have in Elias Pettersson. So if you want to be serious and you want to phone, then, you phone us. Right. And I remember Bob Clark when I was a manager, and I was talking to Bob Clark. I worked for him in Minnesota. He was great. But, he said, teams are always going to phone you, Craig. He goes, unless they force you to say yes, like on your good players, just shake your head no. Like, what the value is. That's your job. Your job is no. It's not to just because they keep phoning, you got to say yes. When they make a proposal that you're serious about and that you think can be done, then you're working towards yes. But before that, it's easy to say no. Everybody's going to phone you. And in today's, everybody's going to phone you. Everybody, oh yeah, what would you do? Oh, we'll do this. Will you take this amount of money? Like, just listen, hear what they have to say, but they gotta get you moving to yes. If they're not getting you to move to yes, he said it's nothing easier to say no to than that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Craig, have a great weekend, my man. We'll talk some Olympics and Super Bowl with you next Friday.
We will. I can't wait.
Awesome.
Wait. Olympics. Can you imagine the Olympics are coming? Oh, boy. Can't wait.
Should be good, buddy. Should be very good. Awesome. There's Craig Button from TSN. Quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI. Custom Floors, Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today. The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk. And it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
450. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you on a lovely Friday afternoon. Hope you got big plans for the weekend. You have a Friday night off for Oiler fans. Then tomorrow, taking on the Minnesota Wild. Probably Tristan Jarry, I would think, back in goal. And I know maybe they'll put Mangiapane in the lineup, but the depth guys played pretty well last night. So I don't know if they'll see a change there. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where the Friends and Family VIP is going on right now. 30% off TV stands and fireplaces. You can save up to $1,000 off 2 or more select major appliances at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. So far this season, what has been your favorite storyline with the Oilers?
I'm really enjoying Connor's scoring touch. Not that it ever really went away, but it's at that new high level Connor we all love to see.
Favorite storyline for the Oilers. Vasily Podkolzin and his production 5-on-5.
Question number 2. Now that the Oilers have won 3 straight, how many more will they win in a row?
I think they'll beat Minnesota, and I think they'll continue the streak against the Leafs, and then we'll shut her down at 5 wins.
Oh, man. It's not like they played great in the 3-game winning streak, so I don't know. I can't have much faith. Minnesota beats them. So I think it'll unfortunately end at 3.
It is funny, even with that 7-4 win, 2 empty netters. Question number 3 for you guys. After seeing Malcolm Celebrini last night, was there any aspect of his game that surprised you, and what intrigues you about him at the Olympics?
I've watched the Sharks late night a few times this year, so nothing surprised me about him. He's fast, he's smart. The thing that intrigues me most is I'd like to see him on the left wing with McDavid.
I respect the fact that when Ekholm high sticked him, he didn't want to call. That's the opposite of a prima donna.
Yeah, probably good for his reputation going forward. Question number 4 for you guys. The Elks, of course, made the move, releasing Trey Ford. Where do you think he'll play next season?
Well, see, I cheated and asked Gregor earlier because I didn't know the answer, and he assured me that Trey Ford will be somewhere in the CFL, perhaps Montreal.
Yeah, well, Montreal, if people are looking, I don't know about Montreal. Montreal would be the best, I think, right? Jason Moss there. You know what? That could help you. The problem is you're not going to get a lot of playing time with that unless Alexander gets hurt. So I think, there's quite a few options for him, but I'm going to guess it's Hamilton or Ottawa.
All right. Final question for you guys. Christian Bale turns 52 years old today. In honor of that, of all his films, what is your favorite?
First of all, it's crazy Christian Bale's 52. But The Dark Knight is one of the best movies of all time. That's my favorite.
He's had, he's a pretty good actor. He's been in quite a few. Which one would I go with? He was pretty good in The Big Short. American Hustle.
Are you a Batman guy?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a bat. Like, I don't dislike it, but I'm not like
pumped with
yeah, like I'm not like bat crazy. I'm gonna go with American Psycho because one of my buddies from high school was in the movie, in one of the scenes in the washroom when he's trying to do cocaine. We were dying. It was so awesome. But yeah. So,
speaking line or an
yeah, speaking line, yeah, and one line. Oh boy, that was a big deal. See one of your buddies in a big movie. So yeah, that was awesome. But American Psycho, he was good in that movie too. So I'll go with that one. Our buddy Al McCullough. So good for Al. And the best part is that like years later, we'll just have a text chain and some guy just randomly puts the scene in. It's so funny.
That's the dream, to be like an extra in a movie and just have a framed photo in the wall of when you were like the 15th guy in a Western movie in a gunfight or something.
Yeah. So, but that movie was good too. Cons, what about you?
You guys picked my 3 of the ones I love. I thought American Psycho was awesome. I thought he played that so well. The Big Short is one I have to watch again. I've been watching it in a long time, but yeah, I got to go with The Dark Knight. Well, the whole trilogy, he was just awesome. Even like the voice, which I thought at first was a little corny, now like had to do it. Had to throw them off just a little bit, right? So
it was actually really good in Ford and Ferrari. Like he gets into the characters quite well, right?
Totally.
Yeah. And did you guys see the Hostels?
No, Declan has.
Yeah. No, Hostels pretty good. So he's like Bale is one of those guys where, he's, I think to be that great of an actor, sometimes maybe got to have a little bit of a screw. It's like when he gets into it, right? Like he seems like a super intense dude.
And he drives around an old Tacoma. He doesn't have any trappings of wealth.
Oh, smart.
It's interesting.
Smart. A lot of text. Boys, watch The Prestige. Unreal. I haven't seen The Prestige. What's that about? So, no, I have to check it out.
His weight fluctuation is crazy, too, in his movies.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
There's one, he's super skinny.
The Machinist.
The Machinist.
Well, and also the fighter with Wahlberg, right? Like, and that was based on a true story.
Yep.
And he was like, the two brothers, and and when you saw the guy he played in real life and just his mannerisms and movement, you're just like, oh my God, like he really, like, I wonder how much time you'd have to spend with someone to really be able to take on a lot of their unique mannerisms and stuff, right? Like you really have to, like, I don't know, do you get video of it and just watch it over and over? How many hours? Like, obviously you sit and talk to them, but I'd always kind of like to get into that sometimes. Like you can see guys where when you're playing a real life person, I think they take it very prideful in that you represent, like, obviously we know their face isn't going to be the same, of course, but just the mannerisms and how they move and talk is such a key part.
Also the movie where he played Dick Cheney.
Vice.
That.
And now when he got up to like 225.
Man, was that a performance. Like when he walked out on screen to start that movie, I was like, that's Christian Bale. It was no makeup too. He gained a whole bunch of weight. He was drinking Haagen-Dazs melted. The dream.
Yeah, well, in American Hustle, he also was a little bit bigger too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one.
You didn't like American Hustle?
No. I don't even know why.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because I don't like Jennifer Lawrence.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
What don't you like about her?
Just the way she comes off in interviews. She's trying too hard to be normal. Like she's trying to relate to the common man too much. Like
really, I don't know. Maybe you've seen different. I don't watch a ton of interviews with certain athletes, with movie stars and such.
Just to make sure I have this right, you don't like Jennifer Lawrence because she's too normal.
But I don't think it's genuine. I think she's trying to be. I don't think I like any of her movies, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Maybe X-Men or Don't Look Up. That was good, but that'd be it.
I'm looking at the list here. He was in Newsies in 1992, which I remember watching as a kid. And it was a show about Newsies, and it was a musical.
You didn't like Hunger Games?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, Hunger Games is good, man. I quite liked it. So I actually think Jennifer Lawrence has been pretty good in quite a few movies, but that's what's great if we all agreed on the same movie. Silver Linings, it's pretty good too. But it had the Eagles, didn't have the Chargers, so probably why Cons didn't like it.
What's the one where they go into space and they're on a big long trip? Passengers. That's a good movie.
Haven't seen it. You know what? It would be fair to say that I also just have not seen a lot of her movies. But she was in Dumb and Dumber 2, apparently. So,
well, there's no way that movie was good. I haven't seen it.
No.
I took my friends to that. It was the last time I got to pick a movie, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
Got
choice. Vetoed after that, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Awesome. All right. Quick break. We'll come back. Mark Spector will join us. So we got a little bone to pick with Spec when we return after Connor Halley in a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. It's Friday night. You're like, God, I don't want to cook. Just want to get home. Well, guess what? Meals.loca.ca. You can order in advance. It's unreal. They'll come right to your door or you go pick it up. Chef prepared meals, healthy, all sorts of different food. And it's great. Check it out right now. As low as $10 per serving. Meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Okay, so you missed it. The Edmonton Elks releasing Canadian quarterback Trey Ford. He was originally selected by the team 8th overall back in 2022 in the NHL. Just one game tonight. Blue Jackets and Blackhawks. That gets going at 6:30. In the association, the Raptors in Orlando at 5:30. Also, the Cavs meeting the Suns. The Nuggets host the Clippers. And the Warriors taking on the Pistons. The WHL Oil Kings in Moose Jaw taking on the Warriors. Puck drop after 6. BCHL, the Saints in Cranbrook, while the Crusaders host Blackfalds. Both those games start at 7. And in the AJ5 games, including Camrose and GP, Canmore up against 7. And Olds in Drayton Valley and Can West. Golden Bears hockey in Winnipeg tonight and tomorrow. The Panthers will host Manitoba tonight and tomorrow down at the Drake. McEwen men taking on UBC, while the women host the Thunderbirds down at the DCA. And from the NFL, Minnesota Vikings firing GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, while the Baltimore Ravens are hiring former Bears OC Declan Doyle as their new offensive coordinator. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Olympic gold medalist Mark Kennedy. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball. Yeah. Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area. And we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Bowl Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
The Rock and Bowl Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Bricks Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more.
Positive Friday continues on, Jason.
$10 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Escape the cold and catch the hottest sports action at Silly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Not a bad seat in the house. All games and tons of big screens. Plus, Sally's menu has something for everyone, along with game night food and drink features. And this January, Oilers watch parties continue. So bring your friends and cheer loud and proud. Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's just after 5 o'clock. Positive Friday. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. You can get in the game, whether you want to try casino, lottery, instance, live dealer. They got it all. And while you're there, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials. We got early Super Bowl. We'll have an order one that comes up tomorrow. We got a few for tonight's game, including Bedard. So you can check that out as well. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is where you can get a hold of us, text us, or call us. It's time to get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They make your life more enjoyable. Running water, indoor plumbing, getting the freeways going. That's what they do at GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, big day here in the Spector house, Jay. Big day.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
Yeah. Shelka retired today. It's her last day.
Oh!
4:30, she walked
wow.
out. We've had a couple champagnes here. I hope that's okay.
Nice. That is totally fine. Well, you tell Shelka congratulations. That's unreal. Gee, she doesn't have to carry you around anymore. Good for her. Holy cow. That's fantastic. Awesome stuff. So, man, maybe she'll be. Is she going to be? Now, I'm just curious, Spec. So, definitely congratulations, Shelka. That's fun. Hopefully, you're having a big celebration for that. I don't know if it was as big as your celebration, because I know yesterday you were joking about how I was talking lots about the 3-game winning streak. And then lo and behold, I see Spec's article today, title, Oilers finally secure 3-game win streak with the thrilling comeback.
Well, it was my euphoria that we can finally get off this topic from our radio show. I was so happy. I guess I did. I wrote all about it. It was I almost used your name actually in there. Then I thought, it won't. Sarcasm doesn't do well on the internet, so I left it out. But yeah, it was, and I mean, it was in doubt all the way through.
Oh my God!
Okay?
Like seriously, well, you're watching the first period, and Oilers fans like, oh yeah, I think they're going to win 3 in a row tonight, and it's 2-0, 95 seconds into the game, and I was just leaving to go to practice at that time. So I had no idea, but I could just imagine the reaction of Oilers fans in the rink, online, at their homes, just being like, what the bleepity bleep 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 is going on? Because it was 2 bad giveaways again that led right to those goals.
Yeah, it was very derelict play. It wasn't, San Jose is opportunistic. They made a couple nice plays, scored 2 goals, but the plays were completely produced by, Edmonton had the puck absolutely in control, and then they didn't, and it was going the other way, and it was in their net. So, the good thing about the Oilers, and I think we should say this because we always do, and I'm guilty too, we look at the negatives first, and they fell behind, and they were terrible when they started. But the good thing is we got a team in this town where you don't turn the TV off when it's 3-0 after 1, and you say, you know what, I'll watch a little longer and see what happens here, right? And this is a team that can do this for you, man. This team, they can score. And you could see San Jose when they got on those 6-on-5s and started controlling the puck. And, it did seem inevitable. They get one, then they put the goalie back in for a little while, and then they come back again. And San Jose didn't know what hit them. And I thought that was fairly impressive of the Oilers last night.
Yeah. Their comeback was extremely impressive, right? And really kind of led by Leon Draisaitl, who had the 3 points to get them there. Obviously they're big guns, McDavid, Bouchard, Hyman, all of them involved. in it, which is what you need. But really, Spec, if you look at that, where they started to really gain momentum was their bottom guys. I know they didn't score, but like they had some really positive shifts. And Trent Fredericks, I know the goals and the points aren't there, but I actually think his play the last 3 game series starting to show a little bit more of a consistent pulse.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's where the bar is, that we're looking for a pulse, for $3.8 million, I guess so. He's showing a pulse. I heard you and Lotai talking earlier tonight, and I mean, this is the guy, he's a point per month player. And if he doesn't get a point tomorrow night against Minnesota, he'll have 3 points in 4 months. So, we can dig and find a couple of nice hits and a couple of decent shifts. And, he's on the 4th line, which wasn't the intention. And that 4th line had some shifts yesterday. Sure. But I'm not losing sight. I have a hard time losing sight of the fact you got a nearly $4 million player playing 9 minutes a night in your 4th line that gets 1 point a month, Jason. 1 point a month.
Oh, hey, Spec, I've been saying for weeks, just try to get to the Olympic break and come back and start over, right? Because you can't change the past. So you got to start over. All I'm saying is I don't care what he did in October, November. I know it wasn't good. His game has at least been pulse. I don't care about October, November. I can't analyze a player because he can't change what he did 3 months ago. I'm talking about his recent play, and I just think it's been way better. That line didn't give up much, and they were, he created some good chances, and that's really all you want. Sure, you'd like some goals eventually, but it beats the alternative when you had to put on an APB to see if he even played.
Yeah, that's fair. And, I think Janmark's kind of a metaphor for that line. Like, last night, he made a breakaway for himself or sort of a break with outstanding speed. He can still really skate.
Oh, he can still skate, yes.
Really skate. He has no hands, and he's never had hands. Like, he doesn't bury a puck. That's just the way it is. But in the playoffs, right? He scores some big goals for this team. He's a guy that somehow, some way, he finds a way to get you a goal when you need it. I mean, game 7, he scored the only goal for the Oilers in a 2-1 loss. So maybe that's where Frederick fits in. Lazar can play 4th line center for my team any day. I love Lazar as my 4C for sure. And if those 2 guys are his wingers, and maybe that's how it's going to be for Frederick. Maybe come playoffs, the breaks will come for him. He hasn't had a darn break all season long. Maybe you'll get one in the playoffs, kick 1 in, kick 2 in. Who knows? So let's see, man. Just wait and see.
You think there's any chance Mangiapane gets traded before Thursday?
No, I doubt it. How about that? I doubt it. Not enough has changed. Like, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Well, because if he isn't, then you can't move him during the break. Then you can only do it when the roster freeze comes back. And then they want to activate Henrique, right? So they got to get rid of money here. Like, so when Adam, like, that's why you basically, because you can't make any move now. You can finalize the move and then announce it afterwards, right? So you have some time theoretically, but the orders here, because I talked to Adam Henrique in the press box, and he's planning on skating that. He goes, I get a whole week of practice. That's the only good news, for him, is that when you come off usually you don't get a week of practice to get back in shape. Now he has been skating because it's a broken finger, right? It's his index finger where it's broken. So, but he has been able to skate, so that part's good. But talking to him, I was under the impression that he's expecting to be ready to go coming out of the Olympic break, and in order for him to be able to go, you're going to have to get somebody off the roster $3 million.
Well, $3 million. So sending Mangiapane down is not going to save you $3 million.
That's why I said trade. Exactly.
Yeah. So sure, if you could move the whole salary, I mean, I guarantee you that there's probably places he could send Mangiapane and attach a big fat sweetener to him. And Bowman's not ready to do that yet. And I don't blame him. That's a last resort.
Yeah.
Maybe Mangiapane works into a trade deadline deal. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe you find a team that's selling off and they say, okay, let's make this deal. We'll take Mangiapane. It's going to cost you. Like, at this point, it's going to cost you to offload Mangiapane. It's not going to be a trade anyone in this town loves. But when it happens, Jay, listen, if you started playing really good, if something changed, if he if you got in their lineup, if you became an important player, then I would say, well, hang on, the landscape's changing here. But it's not changing. He's not in a lineup, so he's not obviously doing anything. And if you couldn't trade him 3 weeks ago, I would like to know why you think you can trade him now. Nothing's different.
Yeah, no, it's totally
Right.
valid. I would agree. It's not. It is less than ideal, but hey,
than
some
ideal.
guys get traded. Somebody's one man's treasure, another man's garbage, vice versa. So that's what they got to hope in that case. And yeah, I agree with you. Giving a big sweetener is less than ideal for the Edmonton Oilers. Spec, you look at where Edmonton is now. They got 3 games left before the break. And, they'll get a lot of time off. They come back and they've got a very favorable schedule, right? Like they'll only have 24 games to play down the stretch. And it's not even a game every second day, which is very different to what they had the last few years in March and in April. And, that's a benefit, depending on McDavid. Like, they might win on that Sunday and probably have a little bit of a party. And then, like last year, I remember Connor, pretty honest, like they finished on a Thursday night, they had a party, then they played Saturday afternoon, and he admitted like he was kind of done, right? Like didn't have much in the tank. When they come out of the Olympic break, if Canada wins gold, do you just say, okay, Connor, you can play one of those 2 games, you're not playing both in back-to-back?
Because they go back to, so the Olympic break, is the gold medal game on Sunday, the 22nd?
It's on Sunday, yes.
Okay. And then he'll fly straight to LA from Milan or however they're doing it. There's probably an NHL charter that.
Yeah, they probably have a little bit of a celebration at some point, though.
Well, yeah, not Monday. They'll have it Sunday because it's getaway day, man. Like,
yeah, I know. That's what I mean. But Sunday night, like
Yeah,
all
sure.
day till the morning, right?
Absolutely. Listen, I've been at some airports on getaway day from the Olympics. It's not a place you want to be, man. Holy cow. Talk about a lot of people leaving a city at the same time. It ain't pretty. He's got to get from Milan on let's say Monday morning. Let's say he wakes up there Monday morning. They play Wednesday in Anaheim.
Yes.
So it is, it's a completely full day of flying to get there. Mega time zones. I mean, what's the time zones? It's probably about
I think they're 8 hours from us.
From us? Yeah, so 9 to LA. So it's 9 time zones. So you know what? If I'm the coach, if you're telling me you think he's going to play one of the 2 games and they're back to back, Wednesday in Anaheim,
Anaheim, and then they play LA Thursday.
I'm probably giving him Anaheim off and playing him in LA on Thursday. I think that's probably the way you do it. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would. Like, I think, you know what, you can look big picture, and I know I get it. He wants to play. He's wired to play. I understand all of those things, but after what, and even I liked his honesty on that Hockey Night in Canada, and he goes, hey, you know what, if I have to have a 2-week kind of emotional letdown from winning a gold medal, I'm more than happy to do it.
Yeah, right. And Draisaitl will be done, almost for sure, 4 or 5 days earlier. And when Draisaitl finishes the Olympics, I'm sure either he'll bug out of Milan right away. He may go somewhere for a couple days R&R, which he should. I think that's a great idea. But he'll be ready to play both those games, is my point. You'll have Draisaitl in your lineup in both games in LA, and a very freshly on Draisaitl, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you would think so. Yeah. That would help. And Josh Szymanski, Spec. Don't forget Szymanski.
Josh Szymanski may, with this roster movement going on, I'm not sure Josh Szymanski starts the break he may be going to California. He may be going to California, buddy, but it's probably not going to be to play the Ducks and Kings.
Yeah, you could be very true on that, right? Depending on who's healthy. Like his minute, like I haven't minded in his play at all in his limited minutes. Sure, but yeah, when you got Adam Henrique coming back and everything else and rosters, so I could see it. But he'll have at least 3 more games to show his stuff before then. Do you think Mangiapane plays tomorrow? Or because their depth guys are actually pretty good, like you're not taking Janmark or Frederick out of the lineup for tomorrow's game, based the way they played. I don't really see how he gets in, do you?
Not unless you take, who's on the next lineup? You're not taking
Roslovic or Savoy. No,
or Savoy out. I don't see any reason for that. So I guess the only guy that you might take out to get Mangiapane in might be Szymanski. Run Roslovic to center. If you feel like you got to play Mangiapane in a game, then that's probably the guy that gets sacrificed to be Szymanski. I don't see why you need to. Hey, listen, it's hard. I know this, Jay. if you leave the guy in a press box and never, ever, ever play him, the rest of the league is just like, well, we can't even scout this guy. He can't even make your team. Like, why would I want that guy? If you put him in your lineup, lightning might strike. He might score a goal. He might get some confidence. He might find something somehow, some way, somewhere. At least you got a shot. From the press box, would Pete Klima say, an awfully long stick?
Yep.
Score from the press box, man.
Yeah. No, it's very true.
What are the Leafs going to do? I heard you talking about the Leafs earlier.
Buddy, the Leafs should be looking at every option. They're not making the playoffs. That's a fact. They're 10 points out already with way too many teams to have to catch, right? It's not going to happen. And their management team spec, they have to ensure that they have a top 5 pick. If they finish with the 6th pick, it goes to Boston. They're top 5 protected. That's it. They got to ensure that they are a bottom 5 team now.
Okay. But how many teams between them and the basement?
Well, like I said, they're currently, I think they're 7th worst in the NHL. So they don't have a long way to fall, but you better be falling if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's Nashville and the Blackhawks. So they got, and now those teams are 4 or 5 points. That's why, like, they're bringing William Nylander back. And I know he's one of their best players. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but they don't need to win more. This is where management has to be aggressive and get rid of some players because they actually need to lose. You cannot give up the 6th overall draft pick this year. That would be just horrific.
Listen, that pick is top 5 protected, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the 5th pick, if they held the draft today, and we're not talking about the lottery and all that, the 5th pick goes to the Rangers at 50 points, okay? The Rangers at 50 points, and the Rangers are already holding guys out. They're going nowhere.
Yeah.
Like and the Leafs have to drop 8 points for the Rangers to pass them. The Rangers ain't making up 8 points on you. So forget about Chicago and Nashville. You got to get down into Rangers. You got to get into Winnipeg and St. Louis have 49. Those teams are 9 points behind Toronto. Like, getting in the top 5 for the draft or the bottom 5 in the standings, that's a tall order, man. You got to lose a lot of games fast in the last 30.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure you could do it, is my point.
Well, maybe not, but as management, you should try for that. Like, what's the alternative? We're going to sit in the murky middle and give up a 6 to 15 pick.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, and then we'll go. Oiler fans should sort of take stock here, right? Like, Edmonton missed the playoffs. I lived through the decade of darkness just like everybody else did. It wasn't pretty. Well, I think the Leafs missed the playoffs 10 out of 11 years. Then they came in and they got Austin Matthews and their window opened, just like Edmonton's window opened, right?
Mm-hmm.
In their window, and I believe it's been 9 postseasons, they've won 2 playoff rounds.
Yeah, I know.
2 playoff rounds in 9 seasons. So the next time you hear some guy say, the Oilers, they haven't won anything, they haven't done anything, sure, they haven't won the Stanley Cup. But you got to say, in their window, they've won 2 conference championships, played in a third, won a whole bunch of playoff rounds. They're a challenger for the Stanley Cup every year. It amazes me, Jason. It's amazing that pretty good team in Toronto, 2 playoff series won in their entire window, and now I think the window's closed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They got to rip the screen off and renovate. That's what they do. Yeah, Spec, have a good night celebrating Shelka. I hope you have a lot of fun. Retirement. That'll look good on her. She'll be loving it. Grandma, she'll be all over grandma time.
She is all over it already, buddy. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you. Have a good one. It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. When we come back, Mark Kennedy, the Olympian, coming on his 4th time at the Olympics. He'll join us next.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need.
He's now Coach
Mr. Dirk. Family runs since
Dry
1939.
settlements of having a
We're
cavernous
experts in
building.
crafting
But I really think the
impeccable
orders
suits and offering a wide
heavy of
variety
games till
everyday
Thursday.
styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one
And then they went to
fittings and
Fajar. You got to be,
the
you
convenience
can't.
of on-site tailoring.
We
Mr.
know
Dirk
better. We
elevates
see the
your style
potential.
game.
Deserve
Visit our
better.
Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Oodle Noodle Origin.
In This is, Cam's words.
Francis
once
Oodle took
Gregor,
over his dying
strap your-
father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
A few different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order when you use promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:29. We continue on. It is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Friday afternoon. I know our next guest, pretty excited because in a few days we'll be jetting off for his 4th Olympics. 4. Not bad at all. As gold medalist, as a bronze medalist, looking to get his 2nd gold medal. And this year at the Olympics, it may be a little bit even more special because while it is his 4th time at the Olympics, it will be the first time with a few special guests. As Mark Kennedy, of course, longtime curler, representing Team Alberta, of course, part of Team Jacobs now, heading over to the Olympics. Mark, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Hey, Jason, I'm good, pal. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Hey, I am excellent. 4 times a charm, but I'm guessing it never gets old that you're going to the Olympics.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. You never know when you're going to get an opportunity like this again. So to get to go back is pretty special, feeling pretty fortunate and grateful, and looking forward to another opportunity to get on the podium and wear the maple leaf. It's going to be amazing.
And I know this year, the one thing that's different for you is, your family's coming over. Your 2 daughters are now both teenagers, old enough to really, and your youngest is like a diehard curler. This will kind of be a little bit more special maybe for you to have your family around and get to experience it with you.
Yeah, I think so. When people have asked me what's going to be different about this one, I think that's my answer is, I've got two wonderful girls, and they're old enough now to really get to enjoy the Olympics. And I think I'm going to get to experience it a little bit through their young eyes. And yeah, that's going to be the coolest part. Aubrey went to 2 Olympics with us, but she was only, I think, 18 months the first time. And then I think she was 9 the second time. So she remembers the second one a little bit, but they're going to remember every minute of this. And yeah, that's going to be pretty special. And it's cool because not many Olympians are old enough to actually have teenage children. So it's the one benefit of being an old athlete, I guess. But yeah, man, it's going to be a pretty cool experience. I'm looking forward to it for them as well.
And also for you, it'll be nice because the last time you were there, of course, was the COVID Olympics, and there was no crowds. So very different than your earlier experiences.
Yeah, very different. That was a little strange driving through the streets of Beijing, big 7-lane highways with only a couple of cars because nobody was allowed to come and see the game. So that was a little bit, weird. And I'm excited that, it's my first one in Europe too. So I think it's going to have that kind of old world Olympic feel to it. Sounds like ticket sales have been good. I just think it's going to be a pretty unbelievable vibe. One of our teammates is already over there. Brett's competing in the mixed doubles event. So he's been sending us a few updates and says it's just a fantastic situation over there right now. And we're looking forward to getting over there and joining them.
Well, the one thing about Europe when it comes to sports, they are way more vocal than North America, right? Like they're chanting, they're singing, like the atmosphere in the building. And I think at all the sports will be a little bit more ramped up.
Yeah, you're right. And we don't see a lot of that in curling venues or arenas. We did in Vancouver in 2010, which is a rare experience, but we might see a little bit more of that, especially, the Italians have gotten a lot better in curling over the years. Their mixed doubles team actually won the gold medal in Beijing. So I think there'll be quite a few fans there. And to your point, might be a little more boisterous than we're used to. And that could be very cool.
Mark Kennedy joins us. So, Mark, when you look at it from an experience standpoint and like the pressure of the Olympics, man, your first one was 2010 in your home country. And, there's obviously excitement, but the pressure from it, and there's always still pressure, but do you feel you're able to handle it better? Right? Like, it's not that the nerves don't come, but do you handle it better? And if so, how?
Yeah, there's no question. I don't know, man. You're a little bit older. You have a different perspective on life, I guess. It's not do or die out there, winning and losing. I think you just get to a point in your career where you're able to go out and enjoy the experience and enjoy competing with your teammates. And, at the end of the day, if you lose, it's not the end of the world. And, I go back to Kevin Martin in 2010. He's about my age now. Back then, he was 43. And just watching he was very poised, very calm. Even though it's a home Olympics and there's a lot of pressure on us, he just was very relaxed and knew we could do it, but didn't feel the pressure the same way that younger athletes do. I think it just comes with a little time and a little bit of experience. And, Jason, we felt that even at the Olympic trials in Halifax. I think we were very loose and relaxed out there. We were enjoying each other and having fun and just competing for the sake of competing. I think our legacies in the sport have already been cemented. So it's not like we're out there trying to prove ourselves anymore. We can just go out there and enjoy the game that we love that's given us so much. And I think there's a lot of strength in that when it comes to performing in high pressure environments.
Mark, as a curler from 2010 till now, how have you changed? What's different for Mark Kennedy? Maybe different or better? I don't know if it's the same or both.
No, there's been a lot of change. Even just in our sport alone, there's been so much growth and improvement, and we've had to stay with the times. And that's not easy to do, especially as athletes get older. You kind of get stuck in your ways and think you know it all. But, myself and even Ben's my age as well, but we've had to change a lot with, sweeping techniques, line calling, and then even our whole, technical throwing the rock has changed, how we throw it, how many rotations we throw. So it's been this constant learning process. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been successful and our teams have been successful is we're never afraid to keep learning new things. And that's what we've had to do to keep up with the young teams that we're going to be playing here at the Olympics, because the quality of play in the last 16 years has improved dramatically. So that's what we've had to do to just try to stay in that, to stay a podium favorite, I guess you could say.
Yeah, speaking of the podium, fair to say, like, obviously anybody can win, but there's like 4 teams that looks like they're, probably considered the podium favorites in any real order. I was just watching the Scotties earlier today, and they had both the 1-2 games in each pool, and both of them went right down to the last rock in the 10th end. Like, the teams are very competitive. And when you play in that environment, Mark, do you is it just about just don't make the mistake? Is that really the difference? Or is it you got to make the big shot when it presents itself?
Yeah, a little bit of both. The Olympics is a bit cutthroat when you get to that semifinal, because you got a sudden death game, winner gets to the gold medal final, loser falls to the bronze. We experienced it at the Worlds last year. We played Bruce Mowat in the semifinal and lost. You just got to be in the moment. Curling's a game where you're out there for 2.5 hours. It's easy for your mind to run away from you a little bit and think about the outcome, and you're maybe a little bit afraid to lose, and there's just a lot that goes on. So you gotta stay very focused. It comes down to making a lot of shots and hopefully making 1 or 2 big ones, and trying to avoid those mistakes against some of these great teams. It's a challenge, man. It's a challenge mentally and emotionally in those big games. And we've had some good experience as a team, though. And it's one of the reasons we put this team together was to shine in those big moments. And Brad, our skip's been unbelievable at that the past couple of seasons. So I think we can use that to add some confidence to the group. And I think we'll be okay when we get into those big moments.
Now, when did you get the title Vice Skip?
When did I get the title Vice? In Alberta, we usually call it third.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know it's third, but I saw a third/Vice Skip. I never seen Vice Skip before. So is that actually a term that they use outside of Alberta?
Yeah, it is a term. It's a term used. You know what? They use Vice Skip more often in Ontario.
Okay.
And I think in Europe as well, they use Vice Skip more often than they do third. So.
I thought it was like a new handle. You were the third and Vice Skip. It's like a new title that you got.
Extra responsibility.
Yeah, extra responsibility. Now,
step in for the skip when the skip's being stupid.
Yeah. Now, because Gallant's playing right now, is there a chance, would fatigue come in? Would Tardy play any? Would he get into a few matches or a few ends because of that?
That's a good question. There's a chance. It'll depend a little bit on how Brett feels after the mixed doubles. I imagine it'll be probably challenging emotionally for him. So if there's an opportunity for Tyler to sneak in and give Brett a break or even Ben a break, depending on how the body feels, that's why we're bringing him, because he's pretty versatile. So there's a chance he gets in and sees a little bit of action. But that'll be kind of a see how it goes type of approach.
Okay. And so what's the plan for you? You're leaving Tuesday to go over there, and will you be participating in the, you've been through this a lot, but will you walk in the opening ceremonies?
Yeah, good question. So we leave on the Tuesday. The main opening ceremonies, I believe, are in Milan, and that's about 5 hours away from where we're staying in the Cortina Village. So we are not going to be walking in the opening ceremonies.
Okay.
But they are doing a smaller opening ceremonies in Cortina because there's going to be so many athletes there, the curlers, the skiers, bobsled, luge, skeleton. So we're going to have our own little mini opening ceremonies on the 6th of February to kind of celebrate the opening of the games. But otherwise we're a little bit off up in the mountains away from all the other action. So it's going to be a little bit of a different games from that perspective.
Is that better, or is it just different?
Yeah, it's just different. I think it helps with our experience, though. Like, we've all been to a games. We've all experienced the opening and closing ceremonies. So I don't think there's that same need to have to be there to experience it. We can kind of, just get to our village and focus on the curling. There is a lot of noise and distractions at an Olympics. So I think that bodes well for us, the fact that we've been there, done that kind of thing.
And now, you had mentioned it. You're up in the mountains. In every other event, you were never up in the mountains, so you never got to see any of the sliders or any of the skiing.
Right.
Will you have time to watch a few other sports?
Yeah, I think so. Like, we'll make time.
Yeah.
Going back to my first games, I still remember what Kevin used to say, that, you can really focus on the curling, but make sure you're a part of the bigger team. Make sure you get out there and cheer them on and experience the Olympics, because, hey, you might win a gold or you might finish 4th or 5th. Either way, you're going to come home and want to have enjoyed every minute of your experience. So yeah, we'll get out, we'll cheer on the sliders, we'll cheer on the skiers. We'll try to take it all in, because as curlers, we don't really get that opportunity to be a part of a bigger team like this very often. So we're going to embrace every minute of that. And we'll be pretty proud Canadians here for a couple of weeks.
If Team Jacobs got an opportunity to jump on the luge, of the 5, who's winning?
Brad Jacobs.
Really?
Yeah, no question. No fear of anything. I can just picture him going down. He would probably go head first just because.
Oh, so you'd want to maybe be a skeleton guy?
Yeah, he'd be straight in the skeleton. Yeah.
Okay. Where would Kennedy finish?
I don't know. Probably. I'm the lightest guy on the team too, right? So that probably doesn't help much. I'd probably be last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right.
And I'm the oldest guy too, right? So I'd be worried about like breaking an ankle or hurting myself. So
you're the oldest guy on the team, really? I mean, you're barely age, man. You're like, it's like baby Nuge. It's like baby Kennedy. It's the same thing, man.
I appreciate that. I'm the oldest Canadian Olympian. It got announced yesterday.
What?
Yeah, 44. I'm the oldest guy. Youngest athlete there is I believe it's a skier, snowboarder that's 18.
For Canada.
And I'm 44. So 40,
wow, he's the old. Oh, everybody's going to be, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Kennedy. Unbelievable. That'll be
They're
great.
all going to walk around thinking I'm a coach.
Oh, yeah. It's the funny thing is you don't even look that old. So good for you, buddy. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Mark, we'll be watching. I know it's exciting for you and your family. I'm happy that your wife and girls get to go with you. That'll be an amazing family experience. And I know you were telling me how all the curling families kind of lucked out. You had a friend over there and you kind of got all in an old monastery where you're going to stay together. Yeah. So they'll have a great time and you guys will have a great time. And best of luck. I know obviously curling's huge in Canada. So you know that Canada's going to be rooting for you big time. So best of luck and hopefully you can bring home your 3rd medal.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason. Really appreciate the time and really appreciate all the support of your viewers. And go Canada, go. Thanks, pal.
You betcha. That's Mark Kennedy, 44. God, I would never guess that, buddy. I see, because Kennedy lives just around the literally a block from my house, and like his daughter, his oldest daughter, is like a freaking gazelle, because she runs training around. And I'm just like, I remember and you see the kids growing up, right? Like we've been there 9 years, and so I think she's 7. So probably she started running when she was like 10 or 11, and man, can she move, right? Like she actually got asked to be in for the luge, and they were kind of like, we're not really sure yet. Just because like she can really push and strong and run. So she made it in the world championships. What sport is it? As like for juniors, like she's they're good athletes. And his youngest daughter's like crazy about curling. So he's pretty obviously, you never want to force your kids into something, but if they love something that you love, it's great. So his youngest daughter's really into curling. So he said, what? Mom and them might take a day out, but she'll be at the rink like all day, every day. She loves curling. So that'll be good. Well, that'll be an awesome experience, right? Something that you don't get to, many people have to have. So we'll come back with Wanye's World next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, new in South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
The Bricks Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more. Get up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now. This is the time of year when so many people go to the new RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new right up until the time they leave the showroom. Then they're used. Just like every quality used RV on our lot, somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars less just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go, Rick?
It stays in our customers' pockets, Bob, because we sell those same RVs just a few years later. If it wasn't for new RV buyers, we'd be out of business. That's why we give thanks every year. You make it all possible.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9. Check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, keeping your game sharp all season long at 01. An advanced skating mill, class 2 enhanced shooting, stick handling, and more. Sign up today at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
5:48. How are you, Jason Gregor? Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley. As we get to Wanye's World, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game all the time. Remember, Lotto Max tonight, $20 million. The Curtis Lazar of lotteries. Good luck. PlayAlberta.ca.
JG, I'm interested in getting your thoughts on why the Leafs are suddenly so terrible. Is it because they took out Mitch Marner like a late stage game of Jenga and everything collapsed? Is it the room is lost? Like, what is going on out in Toronto?
Well, you wouldn't think that one player, leaving your team would. And hey, Mitch Marner's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But so we go through. I'm just looking at their playoff roster from last season, right? So Max Pacioretty not there, but he was good. He actually led. People forget Max Pacioretty led them in playoff scoring last year. He had 8 points, I think, in 11 games. Good veteran guy in the room, but Tavares, Nyes, Riley, Domi, Ekman-Larsson, McCabe, McCann, Tanev, Rob, they're all still there, right? They're all still there. So, and he didn't leave him in playoff points. Nylander did, my bad. But, Pontus Holberg's not there. David Cam's not there anymore. That's not enough. Now, the difference was in the regular season last year, Anthony Stolarz had unreal numbers. Justin Wall had unreal numbers. This year, not so much, right? Like last year, Stolarz had a 926. He has an 876 this year. You're talking, that's a save percentage of think about that. Like that's almost like, well, what is it? 0.50? Like not 0.05, 0.50. So I think at times some forgot that maybe, that they weren't as, the regular season was a little skewed by how great their goaltending numbers were. And the goaltending numbers are hard to do that year in, year out, unless you're Vasilevsky, and even he can't do it, right? Or Hellebuck, and even he can't do it. So that's part of it. But they've had some injuries, right? Austin Matthews banged up again. So I do think losing Marner has hurt them, no question. Their power play absolutely was terrible. Then they fired the power play coach and it seemed to wake up. So maybe they should have done that earlier. So they're in a tough spot here because you can't just give away guys, right? Because I don't think their team's that bad to really be a bottom 5 team. But God, if you give up a 7th overall pick, I know that doesn't hurt you next year, but that could hurt you 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's just not ideal. Because some teams can have a bad year and then rebound and be good. And I think they probably could do that. But my concern about Toronto has always been, I just don't know if they have the killer instinct. I think that's what's hurt them at times in the playoffs, that they're big guns when it comes to it. They're not there often enough. Like, they all have lower points per game in the playoffs than they do in the regular season. Whereas McKinnon, Kucherov, David, Draisaitl, like the real superstars, they don't. They actually have higher, which is crazy. So that's what, like, I'm just not sure that Austin Matthews is the alpha guy enough to be like, I saw that article they wrote about he's the captain of a team and how little he's actually spoke to the media. And I know people say, well, that's not his job. Yes, it is your job. It gravitates and it goes down from there, right? It just does. Like, look in other sports, the big stars who get paid all the big money, they talk. That's part of it. You got to know what to say. And when you lose, you should, as the captain, you have a bad loss, you should be the one that says, I'll speak tonight. Not waiting for who they request as they be in the media, right? Trust me. Media, I wish we could have 10 guys available after every game, not 2 or 3. It's kind of a joke. It was never that way when I started. I can tell you that. The room used to be open and you could just talk to different guys. But I don't think they have the it factor. And I'm not sure you'll get it. I'm not sure it can come back. Maybe it can, but if they do it, they need to get in some bigger leaders. I think they need a player on par who's one of their top guys. Like Brad Marchand, I think might have helped them because Brad Marchand is a leader. He knows how to win. He's a very good player. And I think he would up their intensity level. I just like when William Nylander flipped the bird, that was like the flipping of the bird. It's childish, but it's a bigger issue. He just is like beats to his own drum, does whatever he wants and doesn't really care. Not that he doesn't care about hockey, but he doesn't care about some of the most important things. And I think that's what showed in that instance.
If you're a Leafs fan, what are you even cheering for at this point?
Well, you're cheering for your team to lose because you don't want to give up a top 5 pick. Or, I mean, you don't want to give up a 6 to 11 pick. Like, honestly, it's probably, and you're cheering for, can you make a good trade? You know, can you trade away a guy or two here that will weaken you for this year, but give you some assets to help you retool?
Tankathon.
See, they're not bad enough to tank. That's their problem. They, you know what they need? They need a few more injuries. Like Vancouver's tanking, but they got the best news. Their goalie's out. They got other guys out. That's what you need. When the Oilers, everybody forgets in Edmonton. The reason the Oilers finished dead last in 2010, because they had a good start. But then Habibul, Horkoff, and Surrey, their best defenseman, best goalie, best center, gone. Alashemsky, gone. That's why they went to 10th. The roster wasn't that bad to be there. Like Vancouver's roster now, without Demko and those other guys, probably bad enough to stay where they're at. But at the start of the year, it wasn't. You need actually some help to really suck. So Toronto needs some help if they want to somehow finish bottom 5. Everybody have a great weekend. Please don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Don't be intoxicated. Get home safe. Enjoy the sports. We'll talk to you on Monday. Here's Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Elks have released Canadian quarterback Trey Ford. He was originally selected by the team back in 2022, 8th overall, appearing in 60 games with the green and gold. In the NHL, one game tonight, Jackets in Chicago, puck drop 6:30. In the Association, Raptors trailing the Magic 15-9 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Elsewhere, Lakers beating up on the Wizards 66-39 in the second. And the Celtics have a 23-15 lead over the Kings. Later tonight, Suns host the Cavs. Clippers taking on the Nuggets. You got the Nets and the Jazz and the Warriors hosting Detroit Pistons. In the WHL, Royal Kings in Moose Jaw take on the Warriors in about 10 minutes time. In the BCHL, you got the Saints in Cranbrook, while the Crusaders host Blackhawks, both games at 7. And in the AJ, 5 games, including Camrose and GP. Canmore hosting Devon and Old in Drayton Valley. At the Scotties right now, 3v4 qualifier. The Nova Scotia Black Ring on top of Nova Scotia Stevens, 5-0 heading into the fourth. And in the fourth, the Alberta Sturmey Ring leading Manitoba 5-2. Can West Sports, Golden Bears in Winnipeg tonight on the rink. Candace will host Manitoba at the Drake tonight and tomorrow. McEwen's men's team taking on UBC, while the women will host the Thunderbirds at the Downtown Community Arena. And from the NFL, Minnesota Vikings have fired General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, while the Ravens hiring former OC Declan Doyle as their new offensive coordinator. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with a Saturday Sports Setup, followed by Hoop City with Paul Sir, and we'll have Oilers Wild pregame show 7 o'clock with Andrew Walker. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.